Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, already making a face. Good morning.
You see me? Mm-hmm. Did you watch me yesterday?
Yeah, I watched.
You watched?
Yeah.
Well,
you had it a little easy yesterday. They took it easy on you, but you know what's about to happen.
It was funny yesterday. You take a day off and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
We actually have some news. Then you come back and it's just another ho-hum day.
I
don't know.
I make the news.
Oh,
Really?
well, you better make some right now.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris.
Oh, wait. You're going to make news today. You're going to finally win a debate.
No,
For the
no,
first
no.
time in 2.5 years. This could be the biggest story in sports.
Skip, there was a lot of news yesterday. I mean, that broke on Tuesday and I missed on Wednesday. But the most important thing, Goat Jay, there was a GOAT signing in Chicago in the house that Michael built.
Oh, I knew
Shannon,
you were going to bring that up.
Oh,
You
Goat.
missed that story.
You know what?
Go.
He actually took it out on a team that is now 19-50.
Don't do that.
A team that is 8-27 at home in the house that MJ built. 8-27.
If you can't beat Big Brother, beat Little Brother. Let Big Brother know what happened.
Really? Okay.
Okay, you had to bring that up.
I'm sorry, Jid. I'm sorry.
Okay, we have a lot more to get to on today's show. And so, Skip, here's the thing. Do the Cowboys know that free agency started? Or are they
No.
still kind of making some moves? And then Lamar Jackson probably needs to slow down a little bit. But let's start with the Giants. They made a huge splash by trading Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns for a first and third-round pick, plus safety Jabril Peppers. Well, the move has been highly criticized by a lot of people since it appears the Giants are now in rebuild mode. But yesterday, GM Dave Gettleman defended the decision, saying, quote, "You can win while you build a roster. We do have a plan, and that is part of it." So, Shannon, can you see a plan for the Giants?
Not a long-term plan, but their short-term, immediate plan was to remove Odell Beckham from this roster. Skip, they made up in their mind, no matter what we do, no matter how much we give him, we're always going to have a problem with him. Skip, they gave him the long-term deal. Now, you said there's no way I'm giving him, I've seen enough. I'm not giving him a long-term deal. The Giants says, you know what? We're going to give him a long-term deal because we keep hearing that Odell says he's won his money, he's outperformed his contract, so we're going to compensate him. Not for what he's done, but for what we believe he can do, given what he's done.
Yep.
They paid him, 5 years, $90 million, it kicks in this year. But I think they come to the realization, Skip, Odell Beckham Jr. is who he is, and he's not going to change. And I understand that there are certain situations, Skip, when you have a guy as skilled, as talented as Odell, you make special concessions. And teams really don't have a problem making concessions. If the player that we're making concessions for, it goes to helping us win. And they just come to the realization, Odell's not it, Skip. And the thing is that when we look at Odell, Skip, he's missed 16 games over the last 2 years. Remember, he started his rookie year off. He missed the first month of the season with that hamstring injury.
Did.
So they're like, hold on. We're starting to see that Odell is always going to be Odell, and he's kind of more problem than he's worth. And a lot of this has to do with the locker room, because I'm not so sure that they had a strong enough personality in the locker room to suppress some of this with what was going on with Odell. Odell found, and we showed in the highlight, the worst thing that could have ever happened, Skip, is that he made that play. Because he made that play, and all we do is still talk about it.
What happened in that game?
Dallas beat the brakes off him.
And also what happened in that game, Odell actually went to the locker room for a long period of that game with some undisclosed injury.
Yep.
I don't know.
So he saw then, he's still signing autographs, making money off that pitch, that catch.
That is correct.
So now I don't really need the Giants to be successful to be an isolated, to be an individual figure, even though I'm in a team sport. Because for me, Skip, also I go back to Dave Gettleman. I think it was February 28th. He says, we did not sign Odell to trade him. 2 weeks later, you did what you said you weren't going to do. If you have a long-term plan, can I ask you a question, Skip? Why is Eli still on the team if you have a long-term plan? I don't know. Now, you don't re-sign Landon Collins because you say the safety, and I didn't see the safety market going this, Skip. This safety market has been bonkers.
Just cost me Earl Thomas. We'll get to that a little bit.
You trade Olivier Vernon. I get it. You get Zeitler back in return so to help shore up your offense.
He is a good player.
Yes,
Zeitler
he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You trade OBJ. If I'm Saquon, I'm saying I want to redo my deal. Because y'all about to give me 217,000 carries. That's your only option. No, I need to redo my deal.
Out of like the single wing, snap it to him, let him run with it?
Basically, that's where they are, Skip. It just goes to show you, Skip. It takes an awful lot. And what I don't understand is that I hear a lot of people in the New York media, I've been reading the paper, Skip, and looking at this like, for the longest time, they need to move Odell. They need to move Odell. Okay, the Giants finally obliged him. I can't believe they traded Odell.
That is true. I agree with that. There's a lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah. I mean, hold on.
Echoing. Yep.
But you know who's most responsible for this, Odell? Besides Odell, Odell is most responsible because I'm a firm believer in self-accountability. Tom Coughlin. You remember when Odell Beckham and Josh Norman got into it, a reporter asked Tom Coughlin, Coach, Tom, when you saw Odell seemed like he was losing it, why didn't you remove him for the game? And Tom Coughlin says, we're trying to win a game.
Yep.
So at that very moment, Odell's like, hold on. Tom Coughlin is one of the most strict disciplinarians in the coaching circles in NFL history. And even with my behavior, Skip, here's the very man. Tom Coughlin says either you're 5 minutes early or you're late. He would make guys wear shirts tucked in their pants and chip shirts and hard bottom shoes. That Tom Coughlin let that guy do whatever he wanted on the football field, even though it was costing his team's yardage. And he says, I'm trying to win a game. So Odell come to realize that, hold on, I'm immensely talented. And as long as I can make a play here and there, they're gonna let me do what I want to do. The Maras, and the Tishes, they own 50% ownership of the team. They came to the realization, they can't. Dave Gettleman doesn't make this without the blessing of a general manager. Just like what's the guy? The previous coach before Sherman? What's his McAdoo?
Oh yeah,
Ben McAdoo. Skip. If Coach Coughlin couldn't control him, Ben McAdoo, what chance does Sherman has? And so at that point in time, Skip, you say, you know what? You're never going to get equal value. Going to be very interesting to see what they get with the 17th pick they got from Cleveland. But their short-term plan was to get rid of Odell. Their long-term plan, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yep. So to your point, I'm having a bigger and bigger problem with all the hand-wringing and the teeth gnashing over, what are the Giants doing? They have no plan. They had a plan. I said that's the wrong plan. So I'm not being 20/20 hindsight hypocritical. I said no.
And I said give him his money.
You did. Don't give him that much money because you made him the highest paid wide receiver in football. You fed into what had become, to me, the caricature that Odell was, trying to live up to being Odell in the Big Apple, trying to live up to that catch. So they gave him the money, and it was just a few months after the Paris hotel room video incident. I don't know what was on the bed. You speculated. I don't know what it was.
You in Paris, you're doing makeup. She was
makeup.
She was an heiress. Makeup heiress.
Model. I don't know what she was.
Oh, my bad.
Whatever. It's just a bad look. Whatever it is, it's a bad look. And still, the Mara family and Steve Tisch said, we'll look the other way at that. It's not the best look. One of the Maras said that. But they still gave him his money. Well, now the joke's on you because very soon, the next football season, they live to regret that move. And when Odell did the Lil Wayne interview with Josina Anderson on ESPN, that was the final straw.
Yeah.
The bridge to the Mara family burnt to the ground that afternoon. Yeah, well, he did it. And by the way, again, point of order, Lil Wayne thought it was just Lil Wayne going to be interviewed, and he showed up thinking, I'm going to talk to Josina about sports. And then, so it looked a little odd, but it was Odell's stage, and he took it and he ran with it. And maybe he felt a little more empowered because one of his heroes, Lil Wayne, is sitting right at his elbow, but he just let it fly.
From New Orleans?
Yep.
Homeboy.
Yeah, that's true.
A true homeboy.
That is a true homeboy. That's a good point. And he even suggested he'd be happier in Los Angeles. And I think the Mara family and Steve Tisch said, okay, let's just get him out of here. Let's let him go somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay, well, you've made a monumental mistake that is hard to dig out from under because you're going to have to pay a steep price to cut bait with that, to cut your losses.
With $16 million in cap.
Yeah, you're going to get hit hard. And so they're going to take their hit because they finally said, we can't win with that guy that we just gave the sun and the moon to.
Correct.
Well, Okay, so what? You're going to start over. You're going to go back to square one. You're going to have to say, where are we now? Because there is no plan. You had a plan,
Yes.
and it exploded in your face.
Right.
Well, that's your fault. And I don't know whether it holds Dave Gettleman accountable. It was on his watch they gave him this money.
Right.
Was that from the top down? Was that from the mayors? Was it from Tish?
When you make it that kind of commitment, obviously
Okay.
the ownership has to sign.
I
a
would
commitment
think
like
so.
that. Yes.
So was it ownership then told Dave Gettleman, I'm sorry, this did not work out, get rid of him?
Yes.
Figure out the best deal you can get for him?
Yes.
Okay, so it was similar to the Antonio Brown situation in Pittsburgh, except Odell wasn't trying to get out by acting out. He was just being Odell.
Right.
Like Antonio just said, I'm out, I'm going to talk my way out of
Right,
town,
right,
right?
right.
I'm going to create controversy to the point you won't be able to keep me in Pittsburgh. But Odell wasn't doing that.
No.
But the Steelers were much better equipped to overcome just giving away
Right,
Antonio,
right.
right? For a 3 and a 5.
Because their quarterback still can play.
They still got
no
Ben.
matter what you think of him
One team has
personally.
Ben, one has Eli.
Exactly.
Okay? And
Exactly.
one team has a defense that was tied for first in sacks
Right.
and was pretty good.
Right.
I'll give it like a top 10-ish sort of
Right.
defense. It still has potential. We did see Frank Connor, and we did see Juju last year. So, and the offensive line is way better than the Giants'
top
offense.
5.
Okay, so Pittsburgh, chance.
Yes.
Pittsburgh, we're going to talk about this later in the show. I still give Pittsburgh a shot to win the North next
Yes.
year. Not to contend for the Super Bowl, but maybe to win the division. So cupboard, not bare. Giants, not equipped.
Yeah.
They're not equipped to just give them away. They didn't give them away, and I made this point yesterday, and I'll make it to you. You did get the 17th pick in the draft, plus a third rounder, plus Jabril Peppers, who came on like
Right.
gangbusters
Yes.
last year
Yeah.
and had a really great second half of the season where he was one of the most improved players in the league. I think he can make some Pro Bowls for the Giants.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Skip, because it seems like they feel the need. Okay, they got off Olivier Vernon for Zeitler
Okay.
to help their offensive line, to
Good.
shore that up, to protect
Good.
Eli. Okay, you trade Odell for a 1, a 3, and Peppers. Well, you get the safety help because you're not going to, you didn't re-sign Landon Collins.
Okay.
So you did feel some needs, but
All right.
for me, this is a rebuild, Skip. I don't care what anybody
Well,
tells you.
it
This
is. I think it already was, actually.
But how do you go from 2 years ago, Skip? Remember, they signed Janoris Jenkins. They signed Olivier Vernon. They signed Snacks Harrison.
They did.
So I'm like, okay, they going for it. And then 2 years later, you're like, no, we're not going for it. It's like they gave
Those
up.
felt like quick fixes.
Yes.
though.
Because they were looking like, Skip, look what we got. We got OBJ. We got Eli. We got Sterling Shepard. Oh, man, we got the makings, Skip. We got something special here. And now we don't. So
Okay.
your best player, I think whether you go back and forth, you split hairs, Saquon, Odell, whomever you think is the best player. You traded him, but you keep Eli. They make it seem like, Skip, don't nobody else like, they're the only team that possibly wants Haskins. Now, unless they look at Haskins and Jones from Duke and the guy from Missouri, if they say, you know what, whomever falls to us, we'll gladly take.
Maybe.
But they make it seem like, we want Haskins and he's going to be there when we select the
Say
6.
there are two other bigger picture options. You could take 6, 17 and your third and offer it to Arizona for number 1. And I think Arizona would be foolish to give up Kyler Murray for that. That's not enough.
You know what Arizona's done? I heard they disconnected their phones.
Well,
they're not taking any calls.
Okay.
So until after the draft, don't even try to
Well,
talk.
they didn't show up at Kyler's pro day, which is probably an indication they're already set. They know what
don't
they're
need to
going to
know
do.
more.
Or they're going to have a
Right.
private workout. But I think the head coach is very, very comfortable with this young man.
Okay, I would think so, which brings us to Josh Rosen, who could be on the trading block here very, very soon.
Sure.
So there's some speculation yesterday. Giants could be interested in Josh Rosen. This is just me. If you gave me a choice between trading for Josh Rosen and standing still right there at number 6 and taking Dwayne Haskins, who I'm pretty sure will be there at 6,
Right.
I would take Haskins.
Right.
I'm not completely sold on him, but I'm more sold on Dwayne Haskins than I am on Josh Rosen.
But
Give me a choice.
But Skip, and not to get too far off, but I would be leery. Harry is a guy that you traded up to get. And 1 year later, you're like, oh, no, we good.
I know.
So I'm looking at you like, okay, obviously, he's been in your organization. You know something we don't. I understand what Kyler Murray is, but there have been a lot of quarterbacks that's come along that's been very talented. And when you take a quarterback, if you don't normally take quarterbacks in back-to-back years. Now, only Detroit would take receivers in back-to-back years. Only Detroit would do something foolish enough like that. But normally teams don't take quarterbacks in back-to-back years, especially in the first round.
Okay. Cliff Kingsbury was not the head coach a year ago.
Right.
So, again, new offense, new direction.
Right.
Old connection, recruited and play at Texas A&M. It's the it's like fit
Oh,
made in heaven.
It's the perfect storm. He knows the guy.
So Josh Rosen is the odd man out. I did not love him before last year's draft, so I'm not 20/20 hindsight on that one. I just don't think he's got the mental toughness, the football intangibles, especially to try to make it as a successor to Eli in the Big Apple. I just don't see it.
Skip, you remember when Jim Moore Jr. came out here and he says he needs to be challenged mentally. You know, he's one of those millennials.
Remember that.
Please. You quarterback.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys that maybe thought that he knew. You know, sometimes you get guys, Skip, and they think they know more than everybody.
Okay, remember, he's Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I think his father's a doctor, but he grew up in Beverly Hills.
Look out. I'm going to tell you, Skip, when you get on that football field, I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you came from, your daddy was a billionaire. I don't care if you came from a very impoverished situation. We equal when we out here. And I'm trying to knock the stuffing out of you, or you trying to knock the stuffing out of me. So I don't really care about that. But let me ask you this, Skip. What do you think the Giants, going back, Odell's moved on, what do you think the Giants could have done differently to cultivate and harness this great talent that they had? He fell in their lap. Anybody that tells you they knew Odell Beckham would be this good, they're lying. Because I did not see this at LSU. And I watched a lot of SEC games, Skip.
Okay.
I watched a lot of those LSU games. And to your point, this is the point. This is the piece that was missing for the New York Football Giants. They didn't have Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is the X factor in Cleveland right now because I believe he might be the only man alive Odell will actually listen to and follow and obey and sort of say, okay, I get it.
Right.
We shouldn't do this. We can do this. Jarvis obviously is a Cleveland Brown. Jarvis was his soulmate. They're extremely close from their days together at LSU. Remember, they're born about 3 weeks apart, November 1992. Arrived at, they're both Louisiana kids. Both arrived in Baton Rouge at LSU same day, and they played together for 3 years for three teams that were pretty good without quarterbacks.
Right.
Remember, who was it? Jordan Jefferson was the quarterback in the national championship game against your guys,
Alabama,
right?
He got stopped.
And it was an eyesore. It was just hard to watch. And then Mettenberger was the quarterback the next 2 years, and neither one of them put up huge numbers because you're not in the offense to put up huge numbers. They're trying to run it and play defense.
Right.
But still, they are this close, man. They are
very close, yes.
And so, again, that's who Odell didn't have. He didn't have that connection in New York. He's just unbridled, just...
You know what, Skip? Sometimes it takes a strong locker room to control these young guys. But you look at a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. Guess who his mentor was? Andre Johnson. Look at Julio Jones. He goes to Atlanta. He plays 3-4 years with Roddy White.
He did. That was big. I would agree with that.
So you look at the similar situation and you see sometimes you get a situation and a guy might lash out and a guy might act up and he's like, and he gets rewarded. You're like, well, hey, if I act like that, they might pay me too. Or you can look at it and go the flip side. I don't want to be like that. I'm going to take the other approach because I think his behavior is not conducive for us winning. It's not a secret. Not a secret, Odell. I mean, Odell is great, unbelievable talent, and everybody's going to say, well, Eli hasn't played well, but Eli's been Eli for a long, long time. The Giants keep holding on to those two magical moments. And they keep hoping that he's going to be able to relive that for an entire season. I've seen enough. I don't know what everybody else in New York has seen. I don't know what Dave Gettleman, the ownership of the Giants, have seen. I've seen enough with Eli. Eli is what he is. He plays just well enough in flashes. Man, if we get this for Eli, we get that for Eli. Skip, if you can't survive with Evan Ingram and Shepard and Odell and Saquon, if you can't put up better numbers than what he showed.
He had 21 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, but his QBR was like 25th, I think, so it was awful. So all in all, he wasn't very good last year.
In 16 games?
He wasn't awful, but he wasn't very good.
Skip, that's only like 1.3 touchdowns a game. That ain't nothing.
I'm just saying they feel stuck with him. If you took Haskins, I would probably throw Haskins into the fire in game one and just say we're going to cut bait and go forward.
Well, the money that you saved with Olivier Vernon and the money that you would have saved by releasing Eli, that's a lot of money. If you're going to go rebuild, go all the way rebuild, Skip. I mean, how you going to rebuild a house, but you know what? I'm going to leave this bedroom, I'm going to leave the kitchen, but I'm going to do a complete rebuild. Nah, tear it all down. Start from the floor up.
Yeah. This is what I'm going to remember about Odell in New York. And I said this yesterday. He became the most self-conscious professional athlete I've ever seen on a field or on a court, where every second he's aware every camera is on him, to the point that I got to do something to be Odell. I got to act up a little bit. I got to act out. I got to do something. I'm going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And in the end, what I'll remember is his record with the Giants as a starter was 25-34. Okay. They did have the 11-5 season, but what will we all remember at the end of 11-5? He took his talents to South Beach. And that was on the Monday following a regular season finale at Washington, ahead of a playoff game at Lambeau Field. So you got ready to play on the frozen tundra by standing or sitting on a yacht in South Beach. It's such a terrible look. You were the leader, and you led your receivers to South Beach.
If the Giants were to pull up Odell Beckham's IG page, they're going to probably see more Kiki challenges, him in Manchester, him hanging out with Drake, than him playing catch with his quarterback or him working out. And at some point in time, I understand it's the offseason, you do what you want to do, but teams are looking like, does this guy really want to win, or is he just providing lip service because that's what athletes are supposed to say? Oh, I just want to win. I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything. All I care about is winning. But that's not what we see. That's not the behavior that we see when game time and everybody, oh, he just wants, and I get it. Everybody wants to catch the ball and everybody feels that they can contribute. But I just believe there's a right and a wrong way to go about everything. And I believe Odell has handled a lot of things wrong.
Well, for the Browns' sake, I hope that thanks to Jarvis and Baker Mayfield, they can kind of harness that lightning inside of Odell and channel it.
We're going to see about your boy Baker, because you've been doing all this hooping and hollering.
I'm going to hoop some more and holler some more.
You've been driving, you the Grand Marshal in the Baker Mayfield parade. So we're going to find out.
I'm there too.
Oh, yeah, we know. You.
She's riding shotgun.
Oh, she in the catbird seat.
Yeah, she's in the catbird seat.
You're welcome to join.
No, I'm good.
You know what? This will not be too big for Baker Mayfield.
Okay, we gonna see.
No.
And all of a sudden, the Cleveland Browns are a must-watch next year.
The bigger the
Must-watch.
stage.
Are they gonna get Hard Knocks again?
The better.
They missed it by a year.
Or John Gruden gonna get Hard Knocks?
That could be good.
The Raiders might get Hard Knocks.
I don't know. That seems dangerous.
Just don't put it on the Cowboys where they fake no winning
Much
self.
platform there. Okay, there was
Playoff
another big free agent signing yesterday. Here's the thing, though. It did not involve the Cowboys. We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here with a quick word about Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Undisputed a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at undisputed.robinhood.com. Now, back to the show.
No mercy.
Well, Earl Thomas is leaving Seattle for Baltimore. Thomas signed a 4-year, $55 million deal with $32 million guaranteed. Thomas only played in 4 games last season because of a broken leg, but the 6-time Pro Bowler still got a huge contract. The Cowboys had been rumored to have interest in Earl since last season, but the money was reportedly too steep. So, Skip,
So
how
Jenny,
disappointed were you when you heard this news?
I can actually demonstrate just how disappointed I was. If we could see a picture I posted yesterday afternoon on Instagram that was taken by my wife, Ernestine,
Saw it, yeah.
just a little bit after I read the news that Earl Thomas would not be signing with my Dallas Cowboys, as I had badly wanted for about a year.
I know.
And that sums up, that picture, my emotions of the moment, because I was just spent. I was just emotionally worn out from the Earl Thomas saga. And the only silver lining was it's finally over. Because just to reiterate, it started actually on Christmas Eve of 2017. Seattle at Dallas. Do you remember this game? Another nightmare game for me and Dak Prescott. 21-12 Seattle. Featuring 2 big drops by Des Bryant.
Don't do that, Skip.
And there was a late 1st and goal at the 3 that ended in a Dan Bailey field goal miss. Remember that?
Doink.
Okay. But it ended with another silver lining.
Okay.
Earl Thomas ran up the runway toward the locker rooms and caught up with Jason Garrett, my coach Clapp, and he said, "Jason, come and get me." And the owner, Jerry Jones, tried to go get Earl Thomas early last season. Remember, he held out through training camp?
Yep.
And Jerry, I think, did his damnedest to get Earl Thomas and thought he had a deal done for a 2nd-round pick. Do you remember this?
I remember it.
And it seemed like Jerry was gung-ho, ready to give Earl his money at that moment. If you're going to spend a 2 on him, wouldn't you probably give him his contract?
Yeah, you got to.
You'd have to.
Okay.
And I think the rug got jerked out from under Jerry Jones. April Fool's, Jerry, said Seattle. Now we want a 1. And Jerry said, hell with you. I don't play that way, right? And that was the end of that. And then all of a sudden, late September last year, my Cowboys go up to Seattle and have to play against Earl Thomas, and he takes it out on Jerry Jones. He intercepts 2 passes. And what does he do? He bows to the Cowboy bench each time, just rubbing it in. And I'm still thinking, we still got to go get this guy. Unfortunately, he suffers another broken leg just the next week against Arizona. And that's the end of him for the season. But then I'm thinking, off season, we got a chance. We don't even have to trade for him. Just give him his money. Okay, remember, Earl Thomas grew up in Orange, Texas. He wore the burnt orange for the University of Texas. He has had a lifelong dream to play for America's team in Dallas, Texas. And I'm thinking, well, at least he'll take a little home state discount, just a little bit, to play, just to live out his dream for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. And instead, he takes the Shannon Sharpe route. You know what you did? You went from Denver to Baltimore, right? And Earl Thomas, he sells me out. He gets a big deal. What was it?
Big deal.
4
Real
years,
big.
$55 million, with $32 million guaranteed.
No.
14.33.
No. See, that's not important.
What do you mean?
Guaranteed is not important.
Okay.
I need you to put Fully. $32 million fully guaranteed.
Oh, fully guaranteed.
That's what I need to see.
14.33 per football season. And I'm saying, well, you know how we responded yesterday? We re-signed our backup tackle, Cameron Fleming.
Yeah, a big deal. Good deal.
How about we re-signed our fullback, Olawale? We re-signed him yesterday. That's how we responded to losing Earl Thomas.
Hold on, Skip. That's not the one that dropped that pass in Indy, is it?
It was.
That ain't Olawale. That ain't Olawale.
Dropped it right on the goal line.
Olawale.
And that set up losing 23-0 to Andrew Luck, right? It was devastating. So it looks like I am stuck with Jeff Heath and Xavier Woods at safety, and they're not bad. They're pretty good, but they're not Earl Thomas, right?
They
Who's
are
now
not.
a Raven. And so I guess I could be in really poor taste and wish him well by saying break a leg in Baltimore.
Don't do that,
But I'm
Skip.
not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. I wish him nothing but the best in Baltimore. And the only reason I'm somewhat relieved today is it's over. After, what's that, like a year and a half now?
long time.
It's over.
It has.
He's a Raven.
Stop smiling.
Yeah.
I like it.
You
You
got
love
this.
it.
You got this.
Skip, I've been trying to prepare you for this moment. That's what friends do. When they know heartbreak is on the horizon, really good friends, which I consider myself to you. I tried to prepare you. I put my arms around you. I like, Skip, y'all
I don't remember the arms
I don't
around the
either.
part. No.
That's just a
Figure of
metaphor.
speech.
Yeah, a figure of speech.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, he's big as a tree. I mean, clearly no one's bigger than a tree, but you know what I'm saying, Jenny. I put my arm around you. I say, Skip, y'all not getting Earl. This is me. We having this conversation. I like, Skip, y'all not getting Earl.
That was wishful thinking on your part, as it was wishful thinking on my part.
I said, he knows the likelihood of him getting another big contract is minimal. He's going to take the most money. Let me take that back. He's going to take the most guaranteed, fully guaranteed money. Jerry Jones is not going to shell out that kind of money because do you know the kind of message it will send in his locker room? When you got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been an All-Pro and a 2-time Pro Bowl, that's helped you win games, and you're going to bring a guy from the outside and give him what you won't give me?
Okay, but you just agreed with me. If that deal had gone down early last season for a second-round pick, they were ready to give him somewhere in this ballpark.
Well, you know what, Skip? I like John Schneider and Pete Carroll. You know they were magicians? Snatched the rug right off from under Jerry. He thought he had,
They played him.
And Jerry was
you don't
still
play Jerry.
And Jerry was still standing. You know, you see the magicians how they have a table, China a table, what they call it? Place setting.
Yeah.
All over the table. And he come there, he snatched it off and don't nothing move.
Nothing?
That's how they did Jerry. They snatched that Earl Thomas blanket out from under him and Jerry still standing. They didn't even know what happened.
And you can
Missed
stick a
it.
fork in me.
I love it.
Yeah, seriously,
Look,
that picture was sad.
Baltimore is used to having now. Earl, I believe Ed Reed is the greatest safety I ever played against. He's the greatest safety that I ever saw on tape. Earl Thomas is not Ed Reed, but he might be the closest thing that someone have seen
I agree.
to Ed Reed.
Yep.
Because, and the difference between, and Eric Weddle is a good player. I believe Earl Thomas is a great player. They're totally different players. Weddle is a box safety, play close to the line of scrimmage. He'll, blitz. Earl is a true hole
He
safety.
is. By the way, just a quick point of order. Our man Rod Woodson that we have on occasionally, he's in that discussion.
But
right?
see, I still look at Rod as a corner.
Okay.
Because he spent the bulk of his,
But he did some great things.
Oh, he
at
was
safety.
unbelievable. Yeah, his hands. Rod really
his
could have.
range?
Yes.
Yeah, he ran.
He ran 4.29.
4.29.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he was an All-American hurdler at Purdue.
Yeah.
So he's a play-making safety.
Yep.
He can take the ball away and bring it back the other way, and that's what the Ravens fans are used to. They had 11, 12 years of Ed Reed doing those exact things.
They did.
Now, he's not quite that level, Skip, but he was the best. I believe he's the best free safety, no question. But I believe healthy, and I believe he'll be healthy this year. He's the best safety in all football. Landon Collins can't do what he does.
Heck no.
Now, Tyrann Mathieu might be close
He is.
because the simple fact, Skip, he can play both safety positions and he can play the nickel slot.
But he's even smaller than Earl is.
Yes. But, Skip, I'll tell you what y'all can do. Georgia Loca's available. Jonathan Cyprian. Adrian Phillips, who's coming up.
Rub it in.
Or Eric Berry. Eric Berry's available. Good guy. Good safety. Hard hitting. Yeah. Y'all go get one. Or you can draft one. That's your choices now. Because Earl is in B mode.
Any
Ravens
of those
flop.
names jump out to you?
You know what? I'll just stick with my two guys. My two guys are not bad.
You heard what he said?
We did win a playoff game with those two guys at safety.
And that's what they are.
Yep.
Jags.
They're
Just-
Jags, just another guy.
Yeah.
They probably are, but they're decent Jags. Seriously.
Oh,
I'm not.
I thought you didn't like Jeff Heath.
No, I think he's pretty good. I've told you that from the start.
They were
He
cook-
tries hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna
Xavier Woods, he can lay the wood on you, man.
Skip. I don't know. Skip. What that secondary needs is playmaking.
I agree. They need a guy who's like a made man. Where you just say, they got Earl Thomas.
Yeah, Earl Thomas, like he that old Mac makeup. You know that old good stuff, Jenny. You know you got a blemish in your secondary. Earl Thomas will cover that thing on up for you. Cover it right on up. Because I've seen a lot of
I'm
Cowboys.
sure Jenny loved that analogy.
No, but she know what you don't know anything about makeup. But Jenny and I know about the
I
Mac.
know a lot about
You don't know anything about no makeup. You don't know anything. You
more than you know.
don't do no makeup. You do a drive-by, they just punch your hair a little, take the shine off, and then you up out of there.
Okay.
Are you admitting to be wearing a little makeup?
Are you an expert on makeup?
Anti-shine. I don't
You're
do
an,
no
expert on,
Anti-shine.
you're an expert on models. I know that.
Yeah.
Like you know the top
Yikes.
10. And,
Yeah, hey.
You have too much
what
time
that
on your hands.
says.
But anyway, Skip Bayless, you had your opportunities. You didn't take advantage of it. So now sit back,
Yep.
watch your team miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I said, that I prepared you for this. I'm preparing you for you to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it should be less of a blow. Why is it not less of a blow if I have prepared you for something for over a year?
We even lost Cole Beasley. We lost him.
Oh,
we just lost him.
And Cole took a shot at y'all. Somebody said he went to, Cole's like, I'm going to Buffalo. They're like, you're not going to win. Cole said, I spent 7 years in Dallas and I ain't win either. I didn't get him, Cole. I said, that Cole. I said, oh, that's my Cole. I like
That
Cole.
was cold Beasley, right? Cold.
Skip, I was there for 7 years and we ain't win jack.
Well, they won 2 jack playoff games.
That ain't nothing.
Well, that's something.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Dude.
Better than he's
hold
going to
on.
win in Buffalo.
Whoa, Skip.
How many, do you think Cole Beasley, before he's finished in Buffalo, will win 2 playoff games?
Whoa.
He will not.
Whoa, hold on, time out.
he was
I
hurt.
need to know where that parade route is for winning 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Well, I need to know where the plan B is even for Cole Beasley. I don't know.
Oh, I thought y'all was going to get Humphreys.
I kept telling you. I said, he's there. You know, I like him. I like him as much as I like
Will
Cole
you-
Beasley. And Tennessee said, thank you very much, and snapped him up.
Skip, will you stop thinking that players are going to give the Cowboys?
They love Dallas. Everybody wants to wear the
Skip,
star on the
why
side
would
of
I
the
give
helmet.
you a discount if I'm going to miss the playoffs or only going to get to the playoffs? This is not New England. I give New England a discount because I know there's a greater chance that I'm going to end up in the Super Bowl than not. I'm not giving Dallas no discount for what?
Last year they won 1 playoff game. Next year they'll win 2. And then maybe it'll be the next year
I thought
that they'll win 4.
I thought you
Right.
told me that's not how it works.
What do you mean?
I tried to tell you that's how you take steps like that. You're like, oh, so that's because remember I told you, I said the Cowboys, they won the playoffs. They won the division 2014, missed in 2015. Won in 2016, missed in 2017. Won in 2018, missed in 2019. Oh, you think that's how it works, Shannon?
Looks
You
like
think-
it's historically decreed by the
Okay.
football gods
Okay.
that they're going to miss the
Oh,
playoffs
so
next
is
year?
it decreed that you won 1 playoff game this year? You
Well,
win 2
that's
next
how
year?
it happens. You've been there. You've seen that happen.
That's how it
you
happens.
stair-step right into the Super
That's
Bowl.
how it happens.
Maybe you arrive a year earlier.
Okay.
Like the 92 Cowboys arrived at least a year ahead of schedule.
Okay, well, this is how it happens.
Okay.
Win the division, miss the playoffs. Win the division, miss the playoffs. See the steps y'all take? You take 1 step up, you take 1 step down.
Or 2 steps down.
Yeah.
Right?
I love this, Skip.
I got to say, I'm happy for Earl Thomas because he does fit in Baltimore because of the legacy.
Yes!
It feels like the next Ed Reed, even though he's not quite.
I hate that Sizzle is going to finish up because I believe those guys like
I got
the Ray Lewis and the Jonathan Ogden,
they
and
should-
the Ed
he
Reed.
should
and so-
finish.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, I guess $7-8 million and to go back home.
And plus to get to play with Kyler Murray. Whew.
Really, Skip?
Been a
Really,
long year
Shannon?
for you though, talking about this guy. I'm sorry,
I mean,
Skip.
that's
How many games you think they're gonna win?
Arizona.
Yeah.
I need to see who else they draft and add. I don't know. He'll start from the start. You know he will.
It's exciting. It's must-watch TV.
Then everything is must-watch TV. That's all you do is watch TV.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I have a lot of activities.
Whatever.
Very busy. Very busy.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown was introduced yesterday as a Raider. AB was traded to Oakland for a 3rd and 5th round pick. And he got a new deal with $30 million guaranteed. He even went to his new quarterback, Derek Carr's house, and the two hugged it out several times. Let's take a listen to AB on why he wanted to come to Oakland.
Mr. Gruden played everything in my decision with coming here. Obviously, he's an offensive guru. You get excited just talking with him. He got so much knowledge of the game. He's coached some of the greatest players ever, so he knows what it takes. You know, he's done been around the game, from in the game, outside the game, and his knowledge is so amazing. He did his homework on me. He done seen every play I played in, every interception. He got the details. He's a highly professional guy. I know still the nation is having a bad day today, but it's always love. Encourage every kid who watched me work and were inspired by everything I've done. And I hope I continue to be a good example, continue to be a good role model, and continue to inspire people all over.
Shannon, what do you make of what you heard and saw from AB there?
That's how you get some, Skip. That soft-spoken voice. Hopefully I can continue to inspire people
I
to
like
be a
that.
role model.
That is true.
That's well done.
Look, I take everything he say with a grain of salt.
Okay.
One aspect of the role model is absolutely true. You look at a guy that came from a very impoverished city in Florida, Liberty. I think he's from Liberty City.
Yeah, he is.
Goes to Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan,
yeah.
and was a sixth
Sixth
round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and for 9 years was on a Hall of Fame arc. Had caught more passes, 6 straight 100-catch seasons, average 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns during that span. But when you talk about role models don't quit on the team in week 17. Role models do not behave like he's behaved in the last 4 to 5 years in Pittsburgh. So there are aspects that you would definitely want your kid to aspire to be when it comes to Antonio Brown, but there's a hell lot more that you would want no parts of your child behaving like this. Skip, this is what he said now. In 2017, when the Steelers gave him that big extension, I think he got like $18, $19 million guaranteed. I can be more of a better leader, being vocal. We can all be better, because they asked him about the Facebook Live post in the locker room. I don't come into the year thinking about numbers and such. I just want to be accountable to being my best self. Accountable to his best self. Okay. He wants to be accountable by quitting on his team. Now, Skip, I get it. If you're nicked up, this is what normally happens. I don't know if it still goes this way. If you're nicked up, normally they have you come in and you get treatment. And the athletic trainer, well, how do you feel today? If there were a game today, Shannon, could you play? It'd be close, Greek. It'd be close. I might need a little help, but I definitely would give it a go. Okay, come in on Thursday. Shannon, how you feel? Greek, I'm getting a little better today. Steve Antonopoulos with our athletic trainer, we call it Friday. Saturday, Greek, I'll be good to go. But I've been there going through, talking to him. I don't leave on a Monday talking about I'm a little nicked up and then have my agent call and said I'm good to go on Saturday. Where do they do that at? No, AB, come on. Like I said, and then I don't know who idea was, Skip. Was it him or the Raiders? For me, Skip, I'm a guy that likes to function in anonymity. If I'm going to go meet Derek Carr, I don't need cameras. And John, if it's not the Raiders, John was like, oh, wait a minute. He might not even be our quarterback. What you hugging him for?
That is a fact.
It's just too much. I just believe that everything that he was doing, he could have done that in anonymity. Look, pick up the phone. Hey, Derek, what you doing, bro? I think we need to get together. Okay, run some routes. This is how I like it. Derek said, well, I like to put the ball here. You go through all that. But Skip, this is the honeymoon period. He said these very same thing when the Steelers gave him that $18, $19 million in 2017, so coming into last year. He had all that money. Said all that, he going to be a leader, he going to be accountable. And now he's in Oakland. For what? Because he's accountable? Because he said one thing at the very end. He said, I'm going to be accountable to myself. Damn my teammates. What is the best for AB? What's best for Mr. Big Chest?
Mr. Big Chest. I'm going to go you 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 better. For me, this entire press conference was straight Saturday Night Live skit. I had at least 3 literal laugh out louds at what I read. I didn't watch it first. I read it first.
Okay.
And Mr. Gruden? Mr. Gruden? Let's see how long that lasts.
Exactly.
Mr. Gruden.
Yeah.
Listen, Mr. Gruden will get in your face.
Yes, he
will.
will.
And it was funny because he did say, Antonio, that I love Mr. Gruden. He's an offensive guru, but he doesn't just tell you how good you are. He tells you to focus on things that can make you even better. Translation, he's going to get on your behind and stay on your behind, and Antonio is not going to always love that.
No.
Trust me on that. Then he said, I want to be more of a professional now. He's 31 years of age after 9 years. After
now
9
you want to be
years
a
in the
pro.
league. So he decided to undo the blonde mustache, and he went back to the black one. Okay, fine. And he didn't show up in a helicopter or like a Bentley
He
convertible.
showed up 25 minutes late.
Okay, and he
hear
was
that?
late.
Yeah, he
Thank
was
you for
late.
bringing that up.
Not a good
25
sign.
minutes late. And speaking of late, he said, because I want to be more of a professional, I'm going to be the leader of the receivers, and to your point, hold the receivers accountable. By fining each other, we want to fine each other for drop passes, missed routes, or for being late. What was he notorious for in Pittsburgh? Late.
Even if he chose to come at all.
Did he have the press conference time wrong? I mean, that's a horrible way to start.
What are you doing? I don't know. Is this not laughably ironic, you know?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
And all that sounds good, Skip.
And then to your point about, I want to continue to be a great role model, and you talked about all the on the field, in the locker room, Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. Off the field, I don't want to pile on, but he's had some incidents. The one just within the last few months where he got mad and threw items off his balcony high rise that were falling many stories down. You know how dangerous that is.
Very.
and the guardian of some 2-year-old at the pool sued him because it endangered the 2-year-old.
Right.
Well, is that role model stuff? I mean, I can go on and on about other incidents off the field. Stop it. And then my biggest belly laugh came from, he said, my goal is to catch Jerry Rice. His goal wasn't to win a Super Bowl for the Oakland Raiders, but to catch Jerry Rice.
Hold on, Skip. Hold on.
Whoa.
I never come into a year thinking about my numbers and such.
Wait.
Wait.
It don't make sense.
Wait. You know, if LeBron says his goal is to catch Kareem, I'm like, well, you got a shot. It's
Right.
a long shot,
Right.
but you got a chance. And
Right.
you think he's going to do it, and I give him a shot. But at least he's in the ballpark. He's
Right.
in the universe with Kareem. Listen, Jerry Rice has twice as many receptions and touchdowns as Antonio does now.
Well, if he stays on the historic
Okay,
pace that he's
okay,
on as far
I
as
got it.
catches.
Okay.
But yardage and touchdowns, nobody's catching Jerry, Skip.
Okay, just on yards. Let's do yards. It's 22,895. Yeah, it's 27. I'm sorry, I can't read my writing. 27,895 to 11,207.
Okay.
You would have to do, and Jerry played 20 years.
20 years.
So if you could play your 10 or 11 more years and stay on this pace,
Yeah.
you might come close. You might, but if that's your publicized goal at your intro press conference, it's a bad sign.
Yeah,
It's,
what about
it's
that
like,
winning?
I want my number. I need big numbers.
What about the winning? What about the winning? You hear a whole lot about winning? I'm here to win championships. You know, I was when I was the break, I was close. I think I was like the break Ozzy's record. I was like 100 and something, 115. I didn't mention it. I did mention it, but you know what I said first, Skip? I said, I'm here to win. I said, I'm here to win a championship. And I said, I can't think of a better place to be than have.
You already brought 2 with you.
Right.
Okay.
And nobody was going to ever say, well, he's a bad leader. Well, he was bad in the locker room. Skip, I get the fine system, but it worked because I didn't look at myself as above Ed, above Rod, or above the guys because I was more accomplished. If I dropped the pass, Sharpe, you got to pay for that. And they might charge me double because they say, bro, you going to the Hall of Fame. You got to make that catch. So I looked at myself. They treated me as if I was one of them, not better than them. Dude, you doing all this talk, and I get it, Skip. You know, he like you said, he tried to be more polished. He did away with the blonde mustache. He cut the dreads off, got a little haircut. He's 25 minutes late, and then here he is talking about all self. Okay, we'll see. Honeymoon, honeymoon. Ooh, everything. We go to Tahiti. You in the Maldives. You know what I'm saying, Jenny? We up one of them little yachts. I was just looking the other day. I was looking at one of them little huts. They got in the Maldives, Skip. They go out in the water, and I'm like, ooh, look at
go
that.
to one of those.
They bring you fruit down and all that.
Sounds
They just,
great.
I was like, ooh, what I think. Man, if you just imagine if you got married and went down the honeymoon, boy, you're like, ooh, I'm in heaven. I have found Mr. Right.
And then what happened?
And as soon as you get home and there ain't no water and it's not blissful,
Nope.
you just like the rest of them. You won't pick up your clothes. You don't help me with these kids. You ain't cleaning nothing. We're going to find
Then
out.
that alarm clock goes off.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah, exactly.
am I?
That's the thing. Because they're like, oh, I wake up at 3 a.m. Oh, that ain't no problem. And the first time the alarm clock go off at 3 a.m., don't cut the lights on. Well, how the hell am I supposed to see how to get up out of here if I can't cut no lights on? John Gruden, you about to find out.
They're just smiling at each other.
Yeah. Ooh, I love
Fresh relationship.
I am
Mr. Gruden.
Mr. Gruden, he's just looking on with a smile.
Okay. See, and that's the thing. See, people look at, if you don't know John, see, people have this idea because most people know him, Skip, from the ESPN gig.
It's a little different, right?
Well, he held a play for.
Yeah.
He's not an easy coach to play for.
I know for a fact.
You know that.
And by the way, John Gruden wore a coat and tie to this.
Yeah.
That's been a long time since I've seen him in that.
Yeah, and he
Special occasion.
got that Mark Davis haircut.
Yeah, he's got
that old Great Clips haircut.
He always had that.
$100 million, he got a $14.95 haircut.
Well, I hope the honeymoon period continues a little bit longer than that trip.
That's what the Rooney thought.
Yeah, that's what we all will hope. Either way, we got to switch gears. We know Lamar Jackson. Guys, he's fast on the field, but apparently just a little too fast off the field. We'll explain everything next.
No mercy.
So back to the NFL. Lamar Jackson posted this video on Instagram driving 105 miles per hour. The seatbelt light was also on, indicating Someone in the car wasn't wearing one. Lamar deleted the video and apologized for making a, quote, bad decision. He added that he'll, quote, set a better example going forward. Lamar is coming off a rookie season where he finished 6-2, including the playoffs as the Ravens starting quarterback. Shannon, how bad of a look is this video?
Skip, it's a bad look because now he's the face of the franchise. No Terrell Suggs, no C.J. Mosley, and on the very day that they traded Joe Flacco, this is what you put out. It's not, Skip, it's bad enough that you're going 105 miles an hour. I can get over, Skip, I can get that because when you're young, you do dumb things, and I got a story to tell you. But you're filming it. Now, they tell you that you're
scary.
Just an instant, Skip. At going that rate of speed, car suddenly stops, a deer dash house in front of you, it's over. No seatbelt, somebody, so whomever doesn't have the seatbelt, they're going up out the car. And for what? Because you want people to see your Cuban? Okay, you got a nice little bracelet. I get all that. But come on. But when you're young, Skip, you think you're invincible. I was on my way back from Daytona, Skip. This was in 1990. It was about a month. Actually, it was about a month before I got drafted. I got stopped twice. I was going 108, and I was going 92. Skip, it never dawned on me if someone stops all of a sudden, if a squirrel or anything, I have a flat tire, everybody in the car, I had everybody's life in my hands. It didn't even dawn on me, Skip. But I know what I wouldn't have done. I ain't want nobody to see that. I ain't putting that out there. God, you know you wrong. You know, okay, you go, look, speeding, that's what we call in Georgia, that's what we call a super speeder. Anything over 100 miles an hour, they take you to jail. You go into jail. And come on, Lamar, you're now the face of the franchise. No questions. Because the two defensive stalwarts, they're leaving. Joe Flacco, who was one of the faces of the franchise, he's gone. You're now placed on that mantle. And on that very day, this is what you do. Hopefully, Skip, I believe this is an isolated incident. Hopefully, they will not have, hopefully John Harbaugh, the new John Harbaugh, the head coach, and Eric DeCosta, who's the new general manager, hopefully they just picked up the phone. Lamar, you're under new guidelines now. We expect you to act a certain way, and hopefully he gets it. He apologized, but I don't know Skip, did he think he was going to, look, social, you do understand there are hundreds of thousands of people following you, so what do you think? What you thought they were going to say, oh man, look at Lamar. Man, he's driving 105, and he on Instagram, and he's not wearing a seatbelt, but he got a nice Cuban on. Is that what he thought?
I don't know.
No, he didn't. He didn't think.
So I'm going to reiterate, I'm a Lamar fan, and I told you last August, because I've never been a Flacco fan, I said they should start this kid from game one. I said that sitting in this seat in August. Start him from game one. They waited until week 11, and they took off. They went 6-1 down the stretch. And remember, the one was at Kansas City, and he nearly beat Mahomes at Kansas City, right?
It took a 4th and 8.
Took a 4th and 8. Then, as you point out, they traded Flacco, and they made him the unquestioned face of the franchise.
Yes.
And then this happens, and I watched it 10 times thinking, what was he thinking?
Yeah.
I can't, it's incomprehensible to me. It's inexplicable to me. It's wrong on so many levels. The face of the franchise, not only did he shoot this, I assume, unless somebody's shooting it over his shoulder, is this like he's holding the phone, right?
It looks like it.
It sure looks like it. And he posted it. He posted it. What would possess you to think that was cool? Again, the bracelet maybe, but not only is the seatbelt light on, but you're going 105 and you're passing cars in the right lane. You're blindside passing cars. You know what can happen? Some guy just suddenly decides, I think I'm going to move over to the right lane, and he just takes a split second.
He sees you coming, and he's like, well, you know, I should be in the right.
Maybe I get out of the way, and you get in the way, and you're going 105, and he's just cruising at 105. And I don't, you know what? Seriously, it's wrong, but I don't have a big problem with the 105. I've been known to drive a little fast, so I'm not condemning him for that part.
Exactly, yes.
But the rest of it just doesn't work for me.
Right.
Why would you then post it?
At least, look, there's no excuse, but I went to a driving school, Skip, and you're supposed to have it 10 to 2,
Yeah.
10 to 3, both hands on the steering wheel, you never overlap, you know what I'm saying? Skip, you boy drive now. The one thing old Shannon Sharpe can do, boy, drive, but not at that rate of speed, Skip. On a road, like a closed car, Skip, I get it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, these cars are not like NASCAR. The doors are not welded shut.
Yeah.
You go that fast, you hit something, everything coming apart. They're not like Indy cars. They're not made to disperse energy. Come apart. Skip, it's over. You hit an acorn, it's over.
I got to tell you, the whole incident just plants a little seed of doubt in the back of my mind.
But Skip, what possessed you to film it?
I don't know.
And then post it. That's what I don't get. Skip, like I said, I've driven, because like I said, when you're young, you do, he's only 22. When you're young, you do dumb things. But I'm trying to get, what makes you post that?
I don't know. It's not like Lamar hasn't been a big stage quarterback all through college.
He won the Heisman.
He won the Heisman. He understands the responsibility that accompanies this position. If you're a cornerback or a D end, it's not quite so severe. But when you are the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, unquestioned,
Yes.
you played so well, you got Flacco out of there.
Out of there.
Flacco won a Super Bowl, then you have a standard that you have to live up to it because it just goes with the territory of being a quarterback for an NFL team.
We've seen stories of a criminal doing something, and then they film themselves doing it, and then they post. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? You know you're stealing. Why would you post it? Okay, you're robbing somebody's house. Why would you post it? Lamar, you know you're wrong. You know you're doing wrong. I don't know, Skip. I ask myself all the time, it's something in the water in Florida. People from Florida, they don't be right on.
Something?
Yeah, it's something in the water at Florida. Yeah, Florida.
Really?
Just as a whole.
South Florida or just
Florida in general.
Florida in
Sure,
general?
some
Man,
listeners might
I
have
tell
a
you what,
problem
Skip,
with
just
that.
go down your story. You're like, Florida, what you doing?
So we just talked about Antonio, Lamar.
I think we should annex Florida.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay. I'm going to have to apologize to everyone listening from Florida.
I think you got to do something with Florida.
Here's my thing. I looked up just now his followers. He's got 1 million followers, guys. So let's think about 1 million kids see that video and think, hey, Lamar's doing it. And yes, he deleted it. But this is a split second where every single kid that watches this guy thinks, you know what, I can drive that fast. I can be on my phone while driving. And that is the scariest part about it.
And obviously, the suspicion creeps into the back of my mind. Was he driving somehow impaired?
Yeah, I hope not.
I hope not. Was he
Not
impaired?
at that time of the morning, Skip.
Okay, was he impaired when he posted? Because it seems like you'd almost have to be that out of your mind to put this on Instagram.
Yeah, I
a
mean,
little dumb.
The posting, the filming, that's, you going that fast. I don't know, Skip. I mean, I've driven, like I said, I don't drive fast, not fast like that anymore. But when you drive fast, Skip, look like the road closing in. I mean, everything is just a solid line. I mean, it's checks in the road, it's a solid line because you coming up on things so quick.
And he was just cruising at 105 like la-di-da. I got this.
Let's just hope the
Come on,
lesson
Lamar.
was learned from him.
You know what? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, Skip. This was a
I hope
one-off,
so.
and it won't happen again. I trust
Hope so,
them.
too.
We don't do that at the Ravens.
We don't want these stories to go the other direction, where it's negative.
Right.
We're going to go to the NBA next. Did the Warriors make a statement last night in Houston? All right, Chris Broussard, he answers that question next.
No mercy.
Steph Curry said last night against the Rockets was a statement game, and the Warriors took care of business. Golden State was without Kevin Durant, but they still had DeMarcus Cousins, and Boogie had his best night as a Warrior with a season-high 27 points. They had lost their first 3 meetings with the Rockets this season, but they won last night and are now 4.5 games up on Houston. So we're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. So Chris, what was your takeaway from the game last night?
Well, I think like most people, seeing Boogie and the impact that he had. And I've been, I've pointed out how the analytical numbers show that they're better offensively and defensively without Boogie. But last night, he showed that the Warriors with him have a dimension that not only cannot Houston deal with, but I don't think anybody in the league outside of maybe Philadelphia can deal with that. And that's a low post scorer, a center who will punish you down there. We just don't have many of those anymore in the NBA.
They all shoot threes.
Right. and Boogie did hit a three, hit a mid-range jumper, so he's got the whole package, and then he can pass so well.
Yes.
And that was one thing they used to love about Andrew Bogut, even though, he wasn't passing as much out of the post, but they loved that he could pass, and they got backdoor layups off of his passes. They got open threes off of him drawing double teams. So Boogie was huge, but here's the thing. I think Houston would tell you, if we had our druthers, we want Boogie out there because they're going to try to exploit him defensively. And the thing you saw last night was they were able to have Boogie do that. Why? Because Kevin Durant wasn't there.
Sure.
Right.
When you have all four of the offensive stars, one of it can be diminishing returns, and that's what the numbers show.
Right.
Because one of them has to at least one of them has to step back and then kind of do the things a role player does, the little things. And stars don't typically do that. So that's why even though you can have four great offensive players out there, the results aren't the same. So that's why I thought, and I said, Kerr maybe should have had Boogie coming off the bench, giving him that second unit, and then, stagger the minutes more, and maybe he'll try to do that going forward so you can get more of this out of Boogie when a KD or a Steph or somebody's not on the floor with them. But overall, it looked good. It's just a matter of how they're going to work the minutes going forward to get the most out of all four of them.
Yeah, I just felt I agree with you, Chris. I thought this was an important win for the Warriors to avoid the sweep. Now, Houston, I don't think Houston lost any confidence. We beat you 3-1.
Right.
Yeah, so what? We 4-0. Golden State's going to say, well, look, it doesn't matter if you beat us 4 in the regular season. You have yet to beat us in the playoffs. Boogie is capable, more than capable, of putting up these type numbers. Right. He's a dominant big man as we have when healthy. Now, I still believe he's still a couple of months away from being fully recovered from that Achilles injury. But when you go 27, 8, and 7, their big three, minus KD, outplayed the Rockets' big three of Harden, CP3, and Gordon. As simple as that. That's what it came down to. But what surprised me most about this game was how Golden State killed them on the glass. Golden State is not a great rebounding team. They punished them plus 13.
Right.
Well, you keep giving Golden State that many second chances at you, Boogie's going to get you down low, or eventually Clay and Steph's going to hit a three. And that's what happened. So the Warriors have to feel good. Boogie played the second most minutes of the season. The first most minutes also came when KD wasn't in the lineup. And that's the dilemma that Steve Kerr has to have. Because KD's going to get his minutes, he's going to get his touches. So is Steph and Clay. The odd man out is Boogie. How much he punished Capella last night. He punished him down there on the block. He was unbelievable. But that's my only takeaway, Skip, is that Boogie was unbelievable. But do we expect to see Boogie play like this, get these kind of minutes with KD in the game?
It's not going to happen.
I'm going to go much deeper than you two just went.
Okay.
I think last night was all about Kevin Durant, or lack of Kevin Durant. And I'm going to hark back to what Chris Haynes, Yahoo, reported when Draymond, Kevin got into it on the bench during the Clipper game, and reiterate what Draymond said to Kevin Durant. He, according to Chris Haynes, multiple times called him the B word, said, "You know you're a B," to his face. And then he said, according to Yahoo, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave." Well, what's been the recurring subplot to the Golden State season is that Kevin Durant has 1 foot out the door, right?
Yep.
Kyrie and Kevin are going New York, LA, wherever they're going. And you don't think that sticks in the craw of this basketball team, a very proud team that has won a bunch of championships and looks like they're positioned to win another one with or without Kevin, or so they think. And so last night they had an opportunity at their nemesis in Houston with no Kevin to make a statement. And it was clear to me from opening tip that Golden State wanted that game a lot more than Houston did. It manifested itself in the rebound stats. 44-31 is just about want to. It's just desire, right?
Yeah.
We just want the basketball more than you do. and they inverted their offense last night, and they ran it through DeMarcus Cousins. It looked completely different to me than when Kevin is on the floor.
Question.
Okay? And it worked. Maybe it won't work going forward. I don't know. But it was different, and he's kicking it out to shoot. Listen, DeMarcus can really pass the basketball. He is gifted.
He can do it
He
all.
made a feed early in that game. Just like a sleight of hand bounce pass on a backdoor cut by Steph, and just hit him right in the hands for a unguarded layup. You know,
Right.
like it was sweet. It's like, wow, DeMarcus Cousins at 7 feet did that. Okay, so in the big picture, they made the statement of, okay, if this is what we're going to be next year, let's say they keep Clay and keep DeMarcus next year, which is possible, and they lose Kevin. Well, last night you saw what they might be next year. Right. And I think they're thinking in the back of their minds, this might be who we are going forward, right?
Well, the Rockets say, you know what, we all can keep Boogie out there, but we're going to keep his big butt in the pick and roll.
Okay. Well, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, we're going to see how you slide.
And you know what? It did help that for one night, James Harden went 2 for 12 from 3.
Yes.
When he goes 2 for 12,
you got
a shot.
And with this team, we've seen it before. We saw it last year in the playoffs. The Achilles, they live and die by the 3.
They do.
They live and die. Now, look, Skip, I think you made great points. One thing I disagree with, I don't think the Warriors were out there. I think they wanted the game because, like Steph said, it's a statement game. They beating us 3-0. I don't think they were thinking, let's kind of show Kevin. Now, possibly, but I don't think that was a factor. I really think they're all in terms of just winning this championship with Kevin. He's probably out the door, and let's move on. But it's interesting because I was thinking the same thing. Could they bring Boogie back? Financially, he would still have to take that haircut.
Yeah.
I think they could still only offer him maybe an upgrade on the mid-level or whatever. Like, it won't be the big money.
Because Clay won't max.
And he got to get max if KD leaves.
Okay.
I think they'll max Clay. Steph's obviously maxed, and then Draymond's got his money. And then you can pay Boogie something. I think it makes sense for Boogie because they'll still be great. They could win another championship.
Sure they could.
There's no doubt without KD and with Boogie that they could win a championship. Even without Boogie, they'll still be a really good team and have a shot. But for Boogie, you could look at it as this year, and I've talked to people around the league about this, no matter how well he plays and his attitude, people are going to look at it like, of course. You're in Golden State.
They're winning.
Right. You're trying to get the max.
Right.
Are you going to be that way when it's your team somewhere else? But if you stay in Golden State next year, win a championship or go deep in the playoffs, KD's not there, then I think your stock rises, assuming you play your typical game. So it might make sense for Boogie in the long run.
Well,
that would be something.
Kevin, Kyrie join LeBron. Then those guys are left up there. Would that not be a battle of the
I
Titans?
know the only reason you want Kevin and KD with LeBron is so you can say LeBron's the third option.
Third
so you
wheel.
You'd
be the third wheel.
can down
Would
play him to a
LeBron not
role
have
player.
a chance to win one more championship?
One
He
more.
would.
Right.
That much?
he wouldn't say he's the third wheel. He'd say LeBron the donut. That little old tie that you put on to get you to the. You know what, Skip?
Okay,
man,
but would you write off Golden State with DeMarcus in the middle
No,
and
not at
Clay
all.
and Steph and Draymond?
I don't care if
Not
I
at
don't
all.
care who they got. If KD and Kyrie join LeBron, Golden State not seeing the Lakers.
No, I agree. But that's not happening. That's not happening.
Would that be the end of LeBron postgame saying, I don't have enough help?
Stop it, Skip. There you go.
Well, he might. He might figure out how to do it.
He's been
Those
saying
guys
I a lot lately.
He said that?
Yes.
I didn't hear that
And we're
yesterday.
going to talk about that later
that
as
again
well. Just a lot of
Jenny
I.
be making, you know what, Jenny be, you know what, Jenny?
It's been tough for me.
I'm gonna have to ban you from going to Lakers games.
Well, you don't even go to the games, so I don't know if you have
Well, I'm gonna have to ban
control
you
of
too.
that. Okay,
I banned myself this year.
all right. Well, either way, Chris, you're going to be back later in the show.
Yes.
We have a lot more to talk to when it comes to Kyler Murray. Is he definitely going number one after his pro day yesterday? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. This Saturday night, don't miss the biggest pay-per-view fight of the year. Two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world put their perfect records on the line. Errol Spence Jr. takes on Mikey Garcia for the World Welterweight Championship live from AT&T Stadium. Spence Jr. versus Garcia. Saturday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, live on pay-per-view. Order now.
No mercy.
Well, a lot of eyes were on Kyler Murray's pro day yesterday, but he didn't do everything. Kyler did not run the 40 or get his height remeasured, but he did throw, and by all accounts, he threw very well. He completed 61 of 67 passes, including one drop, and afterwards said, quote, "I pride myself on being a passer. Hopefully I showed I can throw the ball." So, Shannon, how impressive was Kyler yesterday?
I mean, he looked good. I mean, he showed off his arm talent, but he looked like Kyler Murray, minus shoulder pads and a helmet. Skip, it's hard for me to imagine that a quarterback can suck at his pro day, considering he's only going to throw the throws that he throws the best.
Sure.
They're going to script it so he looks very good. If you came to me and said, "Okay, Shannon, we're going to come work you out," and they're going to let me do what I want to do, or I'm going to script the basic cross, I'm going to run the choice route, the option route, I'm going to run the 7 route. Skip, I'm not going to run the shake. I'm not going to go 3 steps to the post, 2 to the corner, back to the post. I'm not doing anything that's going to be difficult that would make me look bad. The last quarterback that I can remember that had a bad pro day was Teddy Bridgewater.
He did.
That was his own doing, Skip.
Yep.
He played his whole career with a glove. Now, all of a sudden, he going to get out there and say, "No, I'm going gloveless." Bro, you can't do that. You got to do with what you've done to get you there. So that's why his pro day, I believe, looked bad had he worn the glove. And guess what? He hadn't taken that glove off since, has he? He looked like Kyler Murray, Skip. He can make all the throws. I've never questioned his ability to throw the football. My question is, with his height, with his size, can he withstand a decade of NFL punishment? That's always been my only concern with him, because somebody was throwing those 40-plus touchdowns. Someone was running those yards, running for those touchdowns, and had almost 1,000 yards rushing. Those were my concerns. Him throwing the football, I never doubted that. Now, I would have liked to see him run the 40 because I want to see that I was closer to being right than you, because I don't see.
So did I. And that's the only reason I wanted him to run the 40.
Yeah.
But Skip, he took his shirt off, Skip, and he ain't tight as what I'm talking about. Skip, I'm talking about like
How many quarterbacks are?
Skip. Skip,
How many are?
that young, that small. I see big things in his future, Jenny, and I ain't talking about a promotion.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you saw that body, Jenny.
Yeah, but it
Shannon
really
Sharpe
fazed
is
me.
suggesting Kyler Murray is going to get fat in
Now,
the National
Skip,
Football League.
Skip.
I think that's where he was
Here's
going.
the thing. He's only so big.
Okay.
So it's not like he's gonna be. It's not like he's gonna be like Jamarcus Russell with 315 pounds. No. But I'm just saying. I mean, he can tighten up a little bit, Skip. Now I get it.
Was he bloated from the 3 gallons of water he drank before he got weighed yesterday? Maybe.
But he was less yesterday than he was at the combine.
Well, what, 2
2
pounds?
pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, Skip. I mean, I'm just saying you could tighten. I'm not saying he got to look like Cam Newton.
There's only one Cam Newton.
I mean, Cam. Yeah, Cam. Yeah, I mean, when I first saw Cam, I'm like, that dude play quarterback. He's like a DN.
What's Cam, 6'6"?
Like 6'5" and a half.
5',
Yeah, like
250,
255. Yeah.
Okay. Whole different.
Yeah,
It was
but
all
I'm
that.
talking about streamlined. I ain't no fat, ain't an ounce of fat on him.
So I believe that the 31 teams that showed up to watch yesterday, that didn't count Arizona,
Yeah.
they did not show up. The 31 that showed up to watch were there for every other player except Kyler Murray, because they all know they're not going to get Kyler Murray.
Wish I had the first pick.
Okay? And
That's
would
what
you
they're
do?
saying.
Oh,
That's
wish they
what
did.
they're
Oh, I
saying.
thought you were saying you.
No,
wish
no.
you-
That's what they're those teams that don't have the first pick. Man, I wish I had that first pick.
It is laughable to think that anybody could glean anything from that session yesterday. Just watch the tape.
Accurate.
Yeah.
The combine's barely okay for me because at least the quarterbacks as a group, you can watch their body language. Who
Right.
takes over? Who
Right.
becomes the alpha? How do they interact with each other? Okay, there's a little bit of something going on there. This is just an aerial exhibition against air, throwing to your teammates in your play, where you're most comfortable.
comfortable.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that means what? So he went out of his way to show nothing but drop back passing. He took some snaps under center and he threw from the pocket.
Yep.
There was no rollout,
Rollout.
nothing, because you can watch the tape. He can roll out and throw it on a
absolutely.
dime.
Yes.
So he threw it short and he threw it long with accuracy because he can be very accurate. He has a lightning release. He has a stronger arm, I think a much stronger arm than Dwayne Haskins does. But you
can
can
agree
just
with that.
you just watch the tape
Yeah.
and you can see that.
Because the baseball,
So-
Skip, he's a baseball player, so he knows how to throw with his legs.
Right. So his coach, Lincoln Riley, just keeps heaping more pressure on him because I'm not sure I
What'd he
love
say?
this. I was amazed by what he said, but he was asked afterward, why didn't Kyler run the 40? Why didn't he do anything but throw? Why didn't he allow himself to be measured? Whatever the issues were. And the quote from Lincoln was, he's athletically so far beyond anything in this game, anything in that league, at that position, that there's just really, honestly, not much point to him running. Like you can already see it on the tape.
Right.
His elusivity and his acceleration.
Yes.
I told you.
I agree.
Quickest feet I've ever seen on a football
agree.
field. Now, will that translate into 40-yard dash or to 10-yard dash? I don't know. But I think he would have beaten Michael Vick's 4.33.
I don't know about all that, but anyway, Skip, for me, they can do away with the 40 for the quarterback. Because how many times, Skip, he's going to get an opportunity to just run 40 yards? Question is,
I don't know. Him?
I'm not worried.
More than usual.
But here's the thing, though. He's not going to make his living doing that. He's going to make his living doing what he did yesterday.
That is
and that's
correct.
throwing the ball from the pocket.
Okay.
Can he do that?
Can he create throwing lanes the way Drew Brees does with his feet?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You need at 5, what would they say, 5'10" and a quarter,
and
8,
eight.
okay? You still need to create lanes with your feet.
Right.
Trust me, he looks to throw first. He is not a quote-unquote running quarterback.
Right.
He will run if it's called or if you dare him to run.
Well, even if you look at him as a running quarterback, which he's not, he's so far more advanced than any one running quarterback has ever been at throwing the football.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about, well, once he gets that passing thing down to catch up with his legs, he's going to be unstoppable. He's probably further ahead in throwing the ball than he is running.
Yep, he is.
So
I would agree.
we've never seen anything quite like this.
We have
Skip.
not.
We've seen guys that can run the football. We've seen guys that can throw the football. But this combination in this small of a pack, Skip, look, if the dude was 6'1",
Yep.
they would even have the draft. They'd say, son, you just go home and we'll talk to you at the end of April. But the only reason we're having a discussion about somebody else could possibly go, now we know now Arizona is going to take it with number 1, is because he's 5'10". We've never seen anything like this. Nobody can throw the ball like this and can move like he could.
What did he do against St. Nick's defense? Wait, he threw for 308 and 2 touchdowns?
He did that hell what he did against
Well, wait a
St.
second.
Nick.
He ran for 109.
He wasn't no Trevor
Wait a
Lawrence.
second.
Of course,
He hung
you're gonna say
34 points. Wait a second. 34 points he hung on St.
He
Nick's
wasn't no-
defense without Hollywood Brown, his
I
best
know.
receiver.
He
Without Hollywood.
He wasn't no Trevor Lawrence.
I don't
Oh,
know.
he wasn't no Trev. Trev. Yeah.
Boy, that's pretty impressive. Of
Yeah,
course,
it is impressive.
Alabama scored 45 because OU had the worst
Well, hold on,
good team
hold on, Skip.
defense ever.
We've seen other guys. Deshaun
did.
Watson threw for like 4,000.
Maybe that's a commentary on just how overrated.
Don't do this. See, there you go.
Well,
That's
see,
your opportunity.
you made the point. I did.
I'm going back to Kyler. I never had any questions about Kyler's ability. Question is, because you're not taking him for 1 to 2 years, you need him to stay healthy for a decade plus. And the questions I've always had at his size, could he withstand the rigors of an NFL? If he can do that,
You're worried about the longevity of it.
yes, that's
I
it.
understand.
So the Giants did show up in
For what?
contingent, and they did take Kyler out and talk to him after the
what?
workout. I don't
I
know
ain't telling him I
why,
ain't
but he
going.
did
Check
go
in.
out and sit with them and interact.
He's-
But before he left, he was asked by the media, have you talked to Cliff Kingsbury lately? And it says that Kyler grinned and paused before responding. He texted me the other day. Aha, he texted me. So they have a texting relationship.
If I'm Kyler Murray, I say I ain't talking to y'all, Giants, because I believe y'all leaked that information about me that I was terrible at the whiteboard,
Maybe.
and I seemed disinterested.
It could be that.
So I ain't talking to y'all. And besides, where y'all pick at? Are y'all number 1, or do you have a pick in front of one? Because if you have a pick in front of one, I'll talk to you. If
Well,
not,
I'm sure they would offer 6 and 17 and a third for one.
no,
Right?
No, I ain't going.
Well,
Kyler say I ain't talking.
I don't know. Would he like to play in New York? I'm sure he'd like to play in New York. Maybe not for that New York team.
Well, I think the thing is he's going to a great situation. He's going to a place where they have a controlled environment. They play in a dome. He's going to a coach that understands and knows how to use his ability and what he's really good at.
Who recruited him to go to Texas A&M.
Makes
He's
sense.
going to the ideal place. He might go somewhere where there's more marquee, New York, Skip, Madison Avenue. Oh, he'll be the darling, all that. All that ain't good. That is whatever. Let me go to a place where I can thrive. And guess what? Madison Avenue travels. Because if I play the way I think I can play, oh, they'll come get me.
I'm going to say it one more time. Kyler Murray is going to be a star at the next level. He is special. He is a winner. He won 3 straight state championships in the state of Texas.
That's what's
How about
most
that?
impressive. Not the Heisman Trophy.
Never-
You win,
Been a legend in that
Skip, it's
state.
like you win 3. There are certain states, Texas, California,
Maybe Florida, yeah.
even Georgia. You win 3 straight.
I give you Georgia, too.
You win 3 state titles.
I know.
Oh, you doing something. You doing big things.
One of my favorite story, receiver CeeDee Lamb, also Texas kid. He said, I am honored to play with Kyler. I have known this kid for my whole life because of what he's been doing in Texas.
Right.
He has been that guy since a very young age. I mean, they all want to play with him.
And the thing is, Skip, I'm telling you, in high school, because, you know, everything is based on size. Oh, man, that little rascal ain't going to do nothing. And the next thing you know, he just threw for 500 yards on you and run for probably another 100, and you look like, how did that little rascal do that? A lot of people, they're not going to underestimate him anymore. That's one thing about the NFL. You don't underestimate anybody, because you get to that level, you can play.
It's going to be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Here's the other thing, though. LeBron, he's
go.
been throwing his teammates under the bus
Stop saying
again.
that.
Shannon, I don't know how you will defend this one. We will explain
Watch
next.
me.
No mercy.
Lakers season has been a huge disappointment, and they are getting closer to officially being eliminated from playoff contention. LeBron's made the postseason 13 straight years, and yesterday the King seemed to wave the white flag on his team's chances. Take a listen.
Our chances are slimming down each and every game, and you know, so many teams in the West are playing well. So, you know, just try to get better. But this won't be the last time I'll be in the postseason. That's for sure. Obviously, you know, I would love for this team to be in the postseason, and for me to be a part of the postseason is always something I've always, loved. But it's just, it's the, right now it's not the hand that was dealt. So you play the hand that you was dealt, and then until the dealer shuffle the cards and give you another hand, then you do that. So.
Okay, Chris Broussard is back with us for this one, but Shannon, since you seem ready over here to defend your guy, how do you interpret those comments from LeBron?
I interpreted. You heard what he said.
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah, we all heard it.
One card that I was dealt is me missing 18 games. And then another card that was dealt is Rondo being in and out of missing games. And then Zoe being shut down, missing games, and then being shut down.
You don't like Zoe.
Hold on, Skip, baby.
All those
it's my turn.
A lot of cards.
And then B.I. So until the dealer shuffles the cards and redeal, which is next year, hey, this is what we dealt. But you know what, Skip? Sometimes you get a 10-deuce offsuit or 7-deuce offsuit player, and you make the best of it. And that's what LeBron said. I'm going to make the best of this hand. I'm not happy, but I can promise you one thing. It'll be last time I won't be in the Western Conference playoff. That's for sure. Take that to the bank. Take that to your bank, Skip Bayless, because I know. Because deep down inside, you kind of, this slams the door. You cannot be the GOAT and miss the playoff. I know that's what he loves it. But that's okay.
I don't need to say that. Everybody says that.
Ain't nobody know everybody. You are the president of the LeBron Hate Club.
No.
But anyway, you know what? I get it. He's frustrated. The injuries took a toll on this basketball team. And everybody has injuries, but I don't know if they've had them this year to this extent, especially to a guy that they could ill afford to miss really any time. And even when he's come back, they hadn't played up to what we thought they would play once he got back. But here's the thing. Bron, you did choose to play this hand.
Yeah.
You went to this table. Now, LeBron did try to throw some of these cards back. He know he had a bad hand, Chris. He tried to throw some of them back. Like, I don't want this hand. I ain't playing this one. It's like when you play in spades and you don't get no spades. Yeah, I throw that hand in. Hey, I got to have, you gave me some face cards, but it ain't face cards, it's spades. So he tried to throw some of them in. And what he said, next year, we're going to reshuffle, get us a new hand, and we're going to be in the Western Conference.
So easy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to, at worst case scenario, I'm putting 2 cases of doing it right now. We're going to be the 2nd or the 3rd seed in the Western Conference next year. 2 cases to do right now, Skip Bayless.
Well, I got to see who they get.
I don't care who they get.
I love how you
I don't care if we don't get nobody.
Well, if you get nobody, I'll bet 20 cases.
I got to be honest. I'm agreeing with Shannon. I don't see. Look, I was critical of LeBron, 2 weeks ago when he had the me and them quote.
Yeah.
And I thought he was separating himself from the team, throwing guys under the bus, talking about, when he wasn't playing defense.
Right.
But what I've heard the last week or so from LeBron, I don't think is nearly as bad as what he was saying 2, 3, 4 weeks ago when he was separating the team. He says, first of all, he doesn't throw in the towel on the playoffs. He says, if we're not there, he says, we don't have it in our quote, but he said, we're going to, for these young guys, and I know B.I. and Lonzo are out, but Kuzma, Reggie Bullock, Josh Hart, these are like playoff games. And it's the closest they're going to get. If they do make up in their mind, hey, let's at least keep going strong until we're mathematically eliminated, then for these young guys, these are the closest they can get to playoff games, and they do need this. Then when he says the hand I was dealt, you mentioned all the injuries. This is where LeBron's been at fault this year. As you said, he picked this team, so that's true. But he never should have entertained the Anthony Davis trade talk. Like when David McMenamin first asked him about it, that was the first we heard of it, and LeBron was like, of course I'd love to play with AD. Like, don't even answer it. No comment. I can't talk about other players. Don't joke about it on the All-Star draft team. Like, just keep out of that. Secondly, his poor defense. And thirdly, like I said, some of the quotes where he separated himself from the players. But outside of that, and again, he's not blameless in the AD situation. There are two things that derailed their season: the injuries to him and others, and the AD trade saga. And here's the deal with the AD trade saga. There were people telling AD or wanting him to make that trade demand at the beginning of the season. And he was like, nah, I want to wait and play it out. And see, we made the playoffs. We got to the second round last year.
Because he had gone behind the scenes and made it, but they wanted him to be vocal in the beginning of the year like he was in the middle of the year.
Like, I'm out, And he waited until right before the deadline. That's not, look, as much as obviously LeBron and Rich Paul are best friends and that's his agent, but we got to give Rich Paul some credit as a professional. He's got players on our team. He just signed Draymond Green. Draymond ain't going to play with LeBron. It wouldn't even be a good fit. Ben Simmons, he signed. LeBron didn't go to. We can't say every player with Rich Paul is going to end up playing with LeBron and LeBron is pulling all these strings. That's just not how it works. There were other factors that let the AD thing get way out of control that were beyond LeBron's control. Dell Demps leaking info, but also I've been told the Lakers were leaking info. I'm not saying it was Magic or Pelinka necessarily, but I've been told there were leaks coming out of the Lakers. Here's why. Because they caught flack for not the perception that they didn't go after Paul George as hard as they should have, right? And everybody's like, well, they're going to wait till they can get him as a free agent. Even though I'm told Magic was talking with Bird about it and all that. But the perception is that they didn't go after Paul George. And then they didn't go after Kawhi Leonard, right? Wait for him in free agency. So the Lakers wanted it out there. We're all in on getting Anthony Davis. We don't want our fan base telling us, oh, you didn't get aggressive again. So these are leaks that turn this thing completely upside down. And those are things outside of LeBron's control, as much as he was blameless or was to blame for other things.
I want to hear what Skip thinks.
Jen is on Skip.
Once again, somebody at this table is not going to be a LeBron apologist. Somebody is going to tell the truth, and it's going to be me. The message, once again, sent by LeBron James to the billions of blind witnesses out there was, I just don't have enough help. I didn't have enough this year, and I can't do anything about it. Give me some help next year, and we'll be better. That was the message he just sent, because you got to the point, and you finally got to the point of this, which is your last point, which is he dealt himself this hand from the start. He was the dealer, and then he was the player. Because he could have chosen to join forces with those young stars in Philadelphia. He could have chosen to go to Houston and join forces. He could have. They wanted him.
He could have.
He could have stayed in Cleveland and stayed in the East. I know the East is much tougher than it seemed to be a year ago, but he could have stayed there, and he would have been a little better off, I think, in the standings with what he had to work with in Houston. But he chose Hollywood. I'm going to say it one more time. He chose to chase Michael B. Jordan as well as continue to chasing Michael Jordan. That's what happened. You know it, and I know it. He chose to come here with no proven star, no co-star, no sidekick. There was nobody yet that we could say, aha, I was dumbfounded. I sat here in this chair saying, what are you doing? Really? You're going to do this year? I kept waiting for the other sneaker to drop. Like, is there somebody? Is it? No, there's nobody. So he chose to go forward, and he also chose to tell Magic from the start, I don't want three-point snipers. I want veteran playmakers. And Magic went out and got him a Rondo and a Michael Beasley and JaVale, and then they finally got Tyson Chandler, and they had KCP. Who am I forgetting? Lance, okay? And LeBron seemed before the year ecstatic to have that group around him. Was he not? That's what it came across to me. And then he chose, I'm sorry, he chose to want to trade all those potential young star kids for Anthony Davis. You can't tell me he wasn't behind that wasn't his choice from the start. Was let's go get him. Well, again, he's the CEO of Clutch Sports. Well, he just is.
That's Rich Paul.
Okay, but he is. Who's the brains behind the operation? Maveric's the brains, but
Rich.
Okay, Rich is the point man. Rich is the point man.
No, Rich has Clutch Sports. Maverick has his own deal.
I got it.
And AD AD is not a puppet, though. AD has to say, I want out of there.
Okay, I got it. But it backfired, and it backfired badly.
It did do that.
But yet, Kuzma and Brandon Ingram came out of that trade deadline on a tear. Both of them did. Seriously, on a tear. And LeBron was not able to capitalize on the tear of both of them before both of them got hurt.
Right.
But there was a period in there where it looked like they were poised for takeoff, because on trade deadline night, Rondo hit a miraculous walk-off shot at Boston. It was. We came in here the next day saying he just saved the season.
Yeah.
Didn't they seem poised for takeoff?
They did.
Okay, and yet was LeBron engaged on defense? Not 100% engaged. Okay,
not at all. Not at all.
Okay, but I'm trying to be nice, because he would pick his spots occasionally. Was he fully engaged in attack mode on offense the way I kept saying? Just go, just attack. No, he was not. He wanted to be more of the playmaking point guard, which I love him, but at some point when you're struggling, you just got to say, it's my turn. I'm going to take this over, because he's capable of that.
I wish LeBron had came out of that injury like he's played the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the thing is, Skip, when you're coming off an injury, especially a muscle injury, you don't really want to step on it, because you don't like, man, if I step on it too early, I might be back to ground zero.
Maybe.
So, he feels, look at him now. Look at all these dunks, the way he's dunking the ball, Skip.
Different.
Look at him, how explosive he looks now. Remember,
Those are Space Jams.
Yeah. And
right? Space Jam. Space Jamming. Space Jamming.
We having a good conversation.
I think the other thing we're missing is, because you mentioned it, Ingram and Kuzma were great out of the break offensively.
Yes.
Okay.
That team has never been very good defensively.
Well, no, they were. In the early in the season, they were 10th in the league before LeBron got hurt. Then without him, they were 7th. Here's what I think happened. We know the AD trade saga, whoever you blame, deflated all the other players.
Right.
Emotionally, spiritually. Early in the season, let's not act like LeBron was playing great defense early in the season.
No.
But the young players were willing to cover up for him. They cover for Harden. They cover for Steph. That's what teams do.
Right. By the way, JaVale was rim protecting like a madman.
Right.
I'd never seen anything quite like that.
So they all were in on LeBron's our guy. He's carrying the offense. We're covering for him defensively. I think once the AD trade saga came and they were like,
dude, you trying to get up
right, they weren't covering for him anymore. You can point to the offensive numbers, because no matter how angry I am, I want to get my points. Right, I want to do my thing offensively, right, and that's fun. But defensively is where the trust, the chemistry, the camaraderie comes in. And if that's not there and it wasn't there, then that's where they fell off.
You saw that against the Clippers. Kuzma pushed LeBron in the back like he pushing him off like he pushing him off the A train in New York.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
I'm like, come on, dude. Come on,
That was
Skip.
saying something.
And he got there, man. He got there. He
how
forced Gallinari into a big miss.
You're supposed to shoot
And
that
look,
ball.
here's the thing. This team, if they don't get AD, and Mark Spears, our former colleague, he has said, and Mike Wilbon backed him up, that they're being told that New Orleans, there's no way they'll trade LeBron to the Lakers.
Trade AD to the Lakers.
I'm sorry, AD to the Lakers. Now, there'll be a new general manager.
So just
AD,
out of spite.
Out of spite.
Okay, all right.
They like, you're going to have
So
to
they're
go
going to do it. So in
there.
other words, they'd rather do a bad deal.
And see, from what I'm being told, they're all in on what Boston could give them. Even more so than if they could get Zion.
Right.
They're all in on Boston. But if Kyrie leaves, why would Danny, you never know with Danny Ainge, but I wouldn't give up Jason Tatum and those guys
Jaylen
for
Brown,
AD for a one-year rental.
Rozier and a draft pick.
So then what else is
start
going to be
looking
out
like
there?
New Orleans, right?
Right, exactly.
Right.
So what else will be out there?
Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you got to swallow your pride. Because pride, you're a Pentecostal. You know what they say. Pride before the fall. Now, I understand that the man came to you guys, tried to hold you hostage. But he let you go, and you said you weren't going to tell. So, Skip, that's what I'm going to do. If you let me go, somebody hold me hostage, they let me go, and I tell them I'm not going to tell, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell. AD did right by you. AD said, look, he could have just waited till the end of the year and just walked. When his contract up and just walked. KD. They got zero for KD. $0.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you some money.
It's true.
I still say there's only one way out for LeBron James in Los Angeles as a Laker, and it's KD and Kyrie joining him. That's the only way out, because your proposal of a trade, it's still going to have to include too many of the kids to New Orleans, where you'd be left with LeBron and some vets and AD. It would not be enough.
But
unless if Kevin's gone.
If KD and Kyrie go there, now look, it'll be good in that LeBron will get more rings, maybe not just rings, but some people would kill LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, and a lot of people
What do
would
you
look
want?
at,
Win or not? I don't know
a
what you
lot
want.
of people would be like, oh, see, he's a third wheel, like we said, and he's got carried to a championship.
I don't want to hear I don't have enough help
Chris,
anymore.
You know what's going to happen. Do you think, Chris, let me ask you this. Do you actually think Michael Jordan would have joined Larry and Magic?
Is that your Skip voice?
Because he always, every time
I don't know,
that wasn't
LeBron
it.
does something, everybody else link up. Do you think Jordan would have done what KD did?
What KD? No, he wouldn't.
Okay, then.
He
But
wouldn't have done
everybody,
any of this.
everybody else get the link. But it's a different time now.
But that's not happening. Kyrie and
gonna
KD are
happen?
not going.
You don't think so?
That would be the most stunning thing I've
been every
ever
game.
seen in
Really?
the NBA.
Well, Chris,
I mean, really, like,
Chris,
there's no way.
I hope you're ready to fill in, because I'm going to be at a lot of games. I'm going to be
Ain't
at all
no
42.
way.
I'm going to be at all 42.
Huh?
Yeah, we be having own locations. We got to do this from location.
then-
in prime time.
Fun.
Then LeBron would be like Klay Thompson, right? He'd be just that guy that every once in a while he.
There you go. See, there you go.
That's
See,
harsh.
That's
That's
hard.
That's what you want.
That's what he
you
want. That's what he want.
I just want him to have
Give
help.
him AD
Give him some help.
and Jimmy Butler. That's it. That's all he needs.
That's all he
That's
needs.
all he needs. And some
Okay.
sprinkle in some nondescript shooters. That's it.
If you
Not
told me Golden State
say-
was broken up, like.
Well, then I think KD's out of there.
And if Clay left also,
No,
then
no,
maybe.
Clay finna get
Clay
that bag.
stay.
Clay
Clay
want that
stay.
bag. He about to get that big bag. I'm talking about a hefty bag. I ain't talking about the little bag. I'm talking about the little bag. I'm talking about a big bag.
Real deal.
Yeah, he gonna get 200.
Clay grew up in Southern California in the LA area, and his father played for the Lakers. I don't know.
But the thing is,
His dad
Some
wants
help.
him there. I know that.
the Lakers can't pay what Golden State can pay.
Nope.
No, they can't.
You are just trying to get the guy some help.
I'm
I really
trying to.
respect
I'm
that.
trying to help you.
Looking out
You'll have
for
him out of the starting lineup if it were up to you.
He'd be a great
Sixth man of the year.
Always good to have you with us.
Oh, he's gonna definitely get most.
Always a good time. Here's the thing. are the
Wait, I gotta ask
Browns-
one. I'm sorry. One quick question.
What?
Question.
If this happens, who
Kyrie and
would
KD?
be the best player on the team?
We don't care.
LeBron's in year
We don't have
17.
time to get
You
into
see
this.
what he's trying to do? He's always
No. Well, seriously, Kevin Durant
It
would
would-
be the best player. Kyrie
I
would be the
don't
second.
know. It'd be between LeBron and KD.
Okay.
And I
You've
still
been
would give
saying
LeBron a shot because he
But you
does
see
so
what he try to
much.
do?
It'd be
he
between
always,
those.
he always try to drive that knife. And they always talk, well, LeBron only talks about an eye. And every time we turn around, if KD and Kyrie's on the team, who's the best player?
You have anything else to say, Skip? Are we good? Okay, we're gonna talk about the Browns next. Are they now a contender in the AFC? Oh, how times have changed. We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Expectations are now sky high in Cleveland after trading for Odell Beckham and adding Sheldon Richardson, Olivier Vernon, and other pieces. Odell released a statement yesterday saying, quote, "The Browns are an organization that is moving forward, and it's exciting to be a part of something special. I really feel like it's time for the Browns to come together and start winning a lot of games." Shannon, how far can this team go?
Skip, I believe they should be favored to win the North. When you look at what has happened in Pittsburgh, they lose Le'Veon, they lose AB. You look at Baltimore, they lose Flacco. Maybe that's not a big loss, but they do lose Suggs. They do lose C.J. Mosley, but they pick up Earl Thomas. Cincinnati is Cincinnati. But what you have to be is very, very cautious about playing NFL football in the spring, because you have to look at a team that has not won the division in Cleveland since 1989. Longest without a division in the NFL. They haven't been to the playoffs since '02. And you're bringing in a player, and I know he's unbelievable, but it's not like AD is littered with these playoff experiences. And you're talking about a team that has been to the playoffs in almost 20 years. They hadn't won a division in 30 years. So when you put all this together, you're like, oh, it's just going to happen. No, you got to break through, Skip. You got to change the mindset. You got to change the culture. Now, I think they got some great pieces. Baker Mayfield has been great. I love what John Dorsey's doing. They get Sheldon Richardson, pairing with Olivier Vernon, Garrett. They got Denzel Ward. They got the makings. Kirksey at one of those linebacker spots. They got the makings to be really special. But just because you got all the right ingredients, Skip, doesn't mean the dish is going to turn out well.
I wish I could leap to this is the year. This is the breakthrough year. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns on offense are now must-see TV.
Yes.
You got to watch the Cowboys and you got to watch the Browns.
Stop.
I had to throw that
Like,
out.
wait a sec.
You know,
Wait.
got to.
Really?
Y'all gonna miss the playoffs.
No,
Cleveland gonna make the playoffs.
we're rolling. We're rolling. We signed our backup offensive lineman yesterday.
Oh, in the Washington.
So, yeah.
Big moves.
Yeah. I love Cleveland on offense because I love me some Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And I love the combination of Jarvis and Odell just because I think Jarvis can help handle Odell a little bit, that Odell will be on his better behavior
And
with
Njoku.
Jarvis. Well, hey, we can go to.
Got Chubb.
Hey, Rashard Higgins.
What about
is really
Kareem
good.
Hunt? We forgot about him, Skip.
Maybe mid-year,
Yeah.
maybe not, I don't know. But it's explosive. Yet on defense, I'm going to remind everybody that I loved Greg Williams bringing new life to that defense. He's gone.
Yes.
I thought they might be the team that landed Earl Thomas, and they were not. So they haven't
I'm sure
replaced.
they put a bid in.
Okay, well, they probably did. But again, Jabril Peppers went to New York. So I'm going to remind everybody that on defense last year, they were 30th in yards allowed with Greg Williams. They were 21st in points allowed. Still not very good.
Right.
I'm not sure with Olivier Vernon. I'm not a big Sheldon Richardson guy. I never was before the draft. I just don't love his football intangibles. But still, did they get that much better? I don't think so.
You don't think Vernon and with Vernon and Richardson paired with Myles Garrett, you don't think they'll be better?
I don't think so. I just don't. And I love Denzel Ward, but I haven't seen enough productivity from that unit already, and I don't think they added enough to make them better than Pittsburgh's defense. Pittsburgh's defense is still better than this unit.
What about Pittsburgh's offense?
Okay? It's still in the ballpark with this.
And
'cause you
Cleveland
still-
gave him fits last year. Now,
Okay,
Skip.
they did. They always give them fits. They did pre-Baker.
Right.
They just always do. It's a rivalry game. But to me, if you still have Big Ben, you still got a shot.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And you still got Juju, and you still got James Conner, and Jalen Samuels was really good at the end of the year. I just say, hey.
And Skip, it's a whole different ball game because we're asking Freddie Kitchens not only to be the coordinator, not only to be Baker's liaison, but we also asking him to run the team. You're not just in charge of calling plays.
Remember what you just said. Freddie Kitchens has never even been a coordinator in the National Football League until that brief stint last year,
Right.
which somehow got him hired as head coach
Right.
because Baker loves him.
Right.
Well, will Baker continue to love him because his responsibilities are going to be scattered all over the field?
Yes, you
right?
got to oversee a lot.
You
what
gotta-
time is practice? When is meetings? Where we go? What time we leaving? Where are we staying?
I barely knew who Freddie Kitchens was until about mid-year last year, and now he's the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
It's a lot of
And they
pressure.
brought in Steve Wilkes, who had the ill-fated 1 year in Arizona, which I never quite figured out. how he got from
You know what? Roger Goodell should make Arizona take him back because you give Steve Wilkes 1 year, you trade him to get a quarterback that you're already willing to trade, but you want Steve Wilkes to win with that.
True. I would like to see him have one more
That's
shot.
my guy. He was at Savannah State. So
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's a good
Oh, I didn't
point.
realize that.
So he is now the defensive coordinator in place of Greg Williams for the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
He was the sort of associate head coach to Ron Rivera in Carolina,
Right.
but we know that Ron Rivera was pretty much the coordinator of the defense,
yeah,
right?
but he had some dogs then.
Okay.
Yeah, Keekly and Thomas
No,
Davis was
okay,
healthy,
I got
and
it.
Charles
I got
Johnson.
it.
And,
All right. So is Steve Wilkes going to change life on this defense? Probably not.
yeah.
Okay. So are you sure they're better in Pittsburgh? Because I'm not sure.
I think they're gonna be good. I don't see 12-4, but I think they can make the playoffs. I think they can go
Okay.
10-6. What did they go last year? 7-9.
7, 8, and 1.
Okay, they should be able to win two more
I
games.
told you what was going to happen last year. If Baker had started from the start,
Oh,
they were a
here
playoff
we
team.
go.
Yep, I told you.
Well, if he didn't throw the interception at the end of the game, they might have still made the playoffs. Remember, he threw that one to C.J. Mosley
No,
at
I
the end of the
don't
game. You remember that? They were driving to take the lead, and he threw a pick, hit C.J. Mosley right in the
remember
hands.
he torched Baltimore at Cleveland, torched them.
Okay.
It was his best game
And
of
he
the
had
year.
an opportunity to do it again in Baltimore. And then what happened?
Well, he's a rookie. You
Oh,
gotta
well,
give him
no,
He was, he
well, I
not?
ain't gonna let you heap praise on him in a rookie, and when you make a mistake, oh, he's a rookie. Well, he's a rookie.
You know, I think over his last 8 games, he was like top 5 in QBR. I
So,
think he's way up there.
do you believe Baker Mayfield is a top 5 quarterback?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
then. So why
Does
you
he have
bring
a
that up?
chance? Sure, he's got a chance.
Chance to do what?
To be a top 5 quarterback.
When?
Well,
This
I don't know,
year?
next couple of years.
This year?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Say
With
this
that
year.
group,
Not
is there a better
5.
receiving core than he's got right now?
I tell you who he better than. I know a guy he better than right now in year 2.
Uh-oh.
Ain't none of my
Wrong.
business though.
Don't say
Ain't
it.
none of my business. I don't even know why I'm talking about it.
Are you talking about the guy who, through his first 3 years in the NFL, had the highest completion percentage ever?
Number 6.
Ever?
Number 6 is
Ever.
better than number 4.
Ever.
I don't even know why I brought
Dak
that up. Skip.
Prescott,
We wasn't even,
ever.
that wasn't even a topic. I don't even know why I brought it up.
I don't
I'm
either.
sorry.
I do have another question for you.
What?
Who has the most game-winning drives over the last 3 football seasons in the National Football League? Dak Prescott. Most game-winning drives, highest completion percentage ever for a first 3 years.
And it's gotten
How
them.
do you
and it's
explain
gotten
that?
them what?
A playoff
One
win.
play. Okay, again.
2 division titles in 3 years.
If
Is
you
that
don't-
not good?
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
can we take our show down there when they had the parade to hang that player for that playoff win?
Yeah, I'll be driving that lead car.
You really would.
Oh, no, I'm not going. If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl at any point in time that we're on the air,
We'll be there.
No, we ain't going to be there.
Well,
Why we got to go?
You
Why
went
are
to
you not
LeBron's
going?
parade.
That's different.
You win.
I did. I went on my own. I
On
paid
your
my
own.
own dime.
I know.
I did.
You got a selfie with LeBron.
I did.
Huh?
Yep. Got a bunch of selfies. Took them with JR, Kyrie. Yeah.
That's a little scary.
Super fan over
A little
here.
scary.
Hello.
I don't know.
I told you it was gonna happen. I told you, Jenny. I went on the show. I
Yeah?
said, Skip, we're gonna have a parade, and I'm gonna be driving the fire truck.
Mm.
Oh, they're not go. What'd I do, Skip? I called it.
But then you flipped at the last
No, no,
second.
no, no.
You flipped.
I put it all. I say, oh, LeBron. It's like LeBron. You don't seem worried. He said, I'm not. It's like, well, why? I'm the best player on the planet.
Yeah. In the last 30 seconds of that show, I gave you a chance, and you said, "No, I can't." Say
I
that."
don't want to, but I know I was going. But I tell you what, we won't be doing.
Yep.
Going to Dallas for any parades anytime
You
soon.
know, it might be next February. I don't know. Just might be.
You believe that?
Yeah, it just might
Skip,
be.
you know good when y'all not going to those Super Bowls.
Shannon, there's going to be no parades in LA anytime soon. I just want to remind you of that.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I'm thinking
here's
next
the-
year. I'm thinking next year,
No.
2020.
Start planning, and you've got some time. So
2020.
how about this? Skip Sky Lonzo Ball, is he actually definitely done in LA?
Uh-oh.
He might miss some parades. We'll discuss.
No mercy.
All right, Rob, thanks. But hey, let's go to the NBA first. Lonzo Ball's name has come up in trade rumors for Anthony Davis and basically every other superstar the Lakers are interested in. Now it seems like he's ready to move on. Lonzo told The Athletic, quote, "If I get traded, then I get traded. The goal is to be the best player I can be for whichever team." So, Shannon, what do you make of those comments?
It sounds to me someone is ready to move on, Skip. I think he's come to the realization that there's a good chance he's not going to spend his entire career in L.A. And he's probably going to be one of the pieces, if not the centerpiece, of any trade moving forward. And I think he's come to that realization, and it's okay. And instead of trying to fight it, no, this is my home, I'm playing for my hometown team, he's like, if it happens, it happens. And maybe, Skip, this is the best thing, maybe moving on from, because, he's going to be the man. Even Magic said, this guy can be special, going to have a statue of him. Maybe moving on and moving out of the shadows of Magic Johnson and all this, because this is a storied franchise. I mean, it doesn't get any better than the Celtics and the Lakers. Yeah, I know the Knicks and Madison, the Square Garden and all that other stuff, but basically, it's the Celtics and the Lakers. And the pedigree that's in this organization, he might perform better without the pressures of trying to be Magic Johnson or trying to be one of these all-time historically great point guards. So maybe if he goes somewhere else, he can relax, he can be Lonzo, and as he said, be the best Lonzo Ball he can be for whichever team were to take him. But I think he's come to the realization, Skip, that he's probably not going to be a Laker come next year.
I think he would be relieved not to be a Laker next year.
Maybe.
I still believe in Lonzo. I believe he could be a star in this league. I haven't backed off that 1 inch.
For the
1
Lakers or
ounce.
for another team?
For another team.
Okay.
I still feel sorry for him because I believe his father made it virtually impossible for him to succeed as a Laker in
agree.
Los Angeles. When you're calling out other players, I saw a quote from Patrick Beverley. He's still mad about the opening night. Remember where he just took it out on Lonzo? It was his first pro game.
Right.
And he's pointing at LeVar in the stands. It's about you. I did this to your son to shut you up.
Yeah, I can't do it to you, but I can do it to your son.
Wow. And then we had LeVar on the show, and I still like LeVar. He loves his kids to a fault, but he sat right here and said, Luke Walton has turned my son into a loser. And there's some truth to that. But the problem is, if you say it publicly, now you've just slammed the Laker door shut on your son because it's him or him. You know, it's one or the other. Magic's got to choose. And Jeannie Buss, I'm pretty sure she still loves her some Luke Walton.
Yeah.
Is Luke going to be back? I don't know. I don't see any end in sight to this.
Right.
Will they, especially if they get new star power, will they bring Luke back?
And Skip, when
wouldn't be
when people say, well, Shannon, I mean, LeVar is not playing, it's Lonzo's playing. But when you say my son is better than Steph Curry,
That's what I'm saying.
If you take my son
Yeah.
and put him on Golden State, they win the title. You put Steph Curry on UCLA, and they probably missed the NCAA tournament. Really? I mean, when you start saying this, and Skip, maybe it was like to get noticed or whatever the case may be. But that's asking an awful lot to say a college kid is better than a two-time MVP who's already a champion.
Yeah,
So it's just hard. You put more pressure. Because I believe, Skip, if we just say Lonzo Dasher, he doesn't have this, but it's Lonzo Ball and his dad. It's hard for me to believe that Gloria James is not as proud of LeBron as Lonzo is of his son.
That's true.
Or James Harden
I
or
agree.
Kyrie's dad.
Yep.
But they're not going around and talking about how good their sons are. It's him. And so now look, it's very competitive. And sometimes, Skip, I'm going to show you that your son is not as good as you think. And Patrick Beverley, I think his IG account, Mr. 94 feet. So that's what he calls himself, Skip. He's guarding you from end to end. And when think about, we keep on talking about, we was talking about old LeBron James. You saw what he did to Paul George a couple of nights later.
Yep.
So imagine what he's going to do to a rookie point guard.
I
That
agree.
can't, you talk about all-star players. You talk about all NBA players.
Yep.
So what is he going to do to a rookie? You give guys incentive. Come on, Skip, it's opening night. I mean, it's March. It's November. Why am I going to play hard?
Yep.
Oh, we playing who? The Lakers? Oh, okay. Let me see what you got, Lonzo. Let me see if your daddy say you as good as he said you are.
So as a rookie, Lonzo went 10, 7, and 7. And I saw stretches, I saw flashes, I saw moments of brilliance.
Yes.
As a sophomore with LeBron James, when he was paired with LeBron, they vibed off
He
each
did.
other. And I saw moments and stretches and flashes of,
Hit
ooh,
some
this
big
really
threes.
works. He was taking and making big threes, and he did improve his three-point shot to 33%, which is decent. The free throws, I cannot defend.
That's unforgivable.
Would you
40?
believe he's only taken 48 for the year? Do you realize that's 10th most or 10th least on the Lakers? That's below Tyson Chandler, who shot 20 more free throws than Lonzo. He runs for the free throw line. He doesn't drive it because he doesn't want to have to go stand there and shoot it. That's kind of mini LeBron stuff.
Yeah.
But
This is not about
Okay,
LeBron.
I know
Skip.
it's
This
not.
is all Lonzo.
Okay, but back to Lonzo. He's 42% from the free throw line. As a point guard in this league, you can't do it.
No way.
You won't survive.
Nope.
Can he defend because he's a long 6'7"? Yes, he
Absolutely.
can. Are there nights that he drives me crazy because he just won't lock in and engage because he's still got privileged kid in him? I think he's got a little spoiled brat in him. He needs to get out from under dad. He needs to go somewhere and start over with new pressure to say, I'm my own man,
Right.
and I'm going to make my own way here, wherever it is. And I don't want that to be in Phoenix where his dad said, I want to run the Suns with all three of my sons there.
That's
right?
not going to happen.
Yeah. They'd be the Phoenix Suns SONS,
Yeah.
right?
He'll
Skip, that's
be
a
there,
Skip.
though.
That's not going to happen. It's like, well, the Lakers won't give my son, wouldn't give Jello a fair shake. But there are 29 other teams. What is this about the my thing is, Skip, look, my mom was not concerned about whether or not her boys were going to play together in the NFL. Hell, if she can get them to the NFL, she done a very good job. My grandmother done a very good job.
I'd say.
To worry about, well, I want all three of my boys. You think the Holiday parents are worried about, well, all three of my sons don't play on the same team?
No, but they're playing.
Yeah. What about the Plumleys?
That's a
He's
good
missed
one.
a lot of time, Lonzo. I mean,
You know
by
what?
the
That's
end of this
another
year,
negative.
65 games.
He's starting
people
to
have
seem
missed
a little brittle.
by the
you know?
end of 2 seasons we're talking about here. That's a lot of time. But guys, one guy who is back tonight, Zion Williamson.
Here
He's
we
back
go.
on the court. But
Brian
is
back
that
too.
a mistake? They've
Yep.
got opinions about that. We'll discuss next.
Go give it to Kawhi.
No mercy.
Zion Williamson will be back on the court for Duke tonight in the ACC tournament against Syracuse. He's been out for nearly a month with a knee sprain, and many people, including a few at this desk, have said he should sit out the rest of the year. So, Shannon, do you think it's the right move for him to play tonight?
If he's 100% healthy, Coach K says he's been working at it. He's working on this, working his way back to this. Skip, he wants to play. This is why he went to school. He wants to play. Me, nah, I'm good. I've shown you enough. I'm gonna be the number one recruit. And number one overall draft pick.
Yep.
Seriously.
Ain't nothing else I can prove.
Okay.
Man, I would advise him to shut it down. This really scares me for him, and it's because of the way he plays. It's because of how gifted he is at how big he is. He is so big. What do you think he weighs?
285.
Somewhere in there. Some nights I think he looks like 300.
Yes.
And he's so agile. He's so explosive. He gets up so high. He comes down so hard. I just wouldn't risk it. I have no idea how bad the sprain was.
Right.
But he's missed about 3 weeks.
Right.
He missed 6 games.
So he's gonna be on a heavy minutes restriction.
You would
You
think
think?
so.
hope.
But again, what's it worth? Is it worth risking your NBA future just to say that I came to Duke with a purpose to help them win a national championship, and here we go? Is that what you? Okay.
Well, if they win a national championship, he get a ring.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, Shannon, you know he's going to play NBA. They play basketball. Yeah, but I would get paid. They pay it in the NBA. They pay it at Knicks. We going to get him.
Yeah.
Lakers, you know we going to get him, Skip. And trade him, too.
Get him
We're
and trade him?
marching up to Zion.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
What you mean?
Well, if you got him, you better
We trade
use
him.
him.
We want
Trade
AD.
him for what?
AD.
Oh, trade him for AD.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of plans
Well, I think
over
I'd
here.
stick with Zion.
I don't think I'm going to stick with Zion. You know how LeBron feel about rookies, Skip. This is about us and what we need.
Yeah. Then he could say, I don't have enough help.
You know what, Skip? There you go.
Enough help.
We trading Zion, okay? Just so you know.
You say us and we way more than LeBron, just for the record.
Yeah, it's us. We're a good team.
Yep. You're a
Just had a
clutch
bad year.
sports client, right?
No.
You're
not.
basically part of it.
You should be.
Why?
Well, because you're part of the family.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.